Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. #1 sports talk indeed. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that, fam? What's going on, family? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Indeed, good to see the family in the building. Much love to the beautiful black and gold family members in the building. Who that to you? Much love. I see the family chiming in. Much love to the family. It's Saints Talk Wednesday, tuning in once again, checking in with the beautiful black and gold family members in the land. Who that? Welcome to the live stream, family. Tonight it's Wednesday, and we're going to talk about some Saints football as we starting to encroach ever so closely to training camp, and several other things are set to occur. The Pelican scrimmages are beginning, and we're getting some normalcy now. Pro baseball is back starting this Saturday, so we're starting to get some sports in this uncertain climate, to put it lightly. Who that? And as always, man, I'm Big Q from the Sports Coma, welcoming all the beautiful black and gold family members in the live stream on this episode. Who that to you and yearns? And like I always been saying for over 5 years now, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, and we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. Once again, I'm Big Q, and this is TSC Alive, also known as the Sports Coma, also known as the Great Saint Tank, baby. Who that to you and yearns? In the live stream as well. Who that to you, Mr. Jerry Poirier Jr. chiming in. Who that to you, Mr. Jerry? I see you. Sufayan, who that to you, Sufayan? Good to see you, family. Chiming in all the way from Paris. Who that to you, my dog Scoob? Who that to your school? Good to see you. Tori Shepard Sr., who that to your family? Good to see you in the live stream as well. Much love to you. JT, who that to you, JT? Good to see your family in the live stream. Byron, what up, Byron? Who that to your family? Good to see you as well. Mr. Bombastic, what up, family? Good to see y'all as well. William Dickerson, who that to you, William? Good to see you in the live stream. He says, who that, everybody? Y'all see PFF got Saints ranked number 13 as far as the D-line. What? They were number 4 run defense last year, top 4 in sacks. Come on, man. I often criticize the PFF soft boys, as I call them. The softest crew in sport talk. Oh, man. I mean, them guys ain't tough enough to be a bunch of cuisine waiters at a restaurant. I mean, it's just what it is, man. The disrespect is real, man. You know, the disrespect is real. That's why there is a great Saint think tank known as the Sports Coma, because of scumbags like the PFF camp and people that continually disrespect the Saints. It's one thing to talk about the black and gold back in the day when you stunk, but it's different when the team continues to chalk up double-digit winning seasons and still get no respect. And then that just goes to show you that they don't know what the hell they talking about, family. I'm going to keep it honest with you. That's what the hell it means. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. If they have known the fact that the defensive line, the interior line, is the strongest position, the deepest position on this team, how are we going backwards? How are we going backwards? I mean, you got a David Onyemata who got paid. He's definitely excited. You got a Sheldon Rankins looking to get paid. He's excited. Then, of course, you have other guys like Shy Tuttle, Malcolm Brown, and the rest, Malcolm Roach, Taylor Stallworth. You got tweener guys like Marcus Hunt and Mario Edwards Jr. You could toss in there. Ain't nowhere in the world we belong that low. But that goes to show you that those guys don't know who the hell they talking about, man. They don't know what the hell. We ain't get that yet. We ain't get that. Well, thank you for that, William. Let's see what else we got there. Mr. Babassi, even ESPN been doing the Saints that way for a while now. Small market team gets no love. But I'm working on a report called "Is the Kansas City Chiefs the New New England Patriots?" It's already been milk toast. It's been milking up. I'm telling you, get ready for really cheating movements with the Kansas City Chiefs coming. The league needs that dynasty team, and they have anointed the Kansas City Chiefs as that team. I'm telling y'all, pay attention. Nobody talking about it, but of course, that's nothing new. If they're not talking about it, I talk about it. But be careful, because they're looking for a new dynasty, and the Kansas City Chiefs might be it, baby. So all the weird cheating stuff that happened for the Patriots to win over the years, let's watch out for the Chiefs getting that same weird energy. JT, who that to you once again? Derek L, who that to you? Derek, good to see you in the chat. DJ, who that to you? DJ. Jeremiah Smith, who that to you? Jeremiah, good to see your family in the chat as well. Much love to you. Jason King, who that to you? Kevin McKnight, who that to you? Kevin, good to see you. DJ says, I got to go back to work at the Superdome. All right, DJ, about to get it crunk again. JT says, Q can't work the camera at the Q stand. Okula McGee, what up, Okula? Good to see your family in the chat as well. Iceman, what up, Iceman? Good to see you, man, in the chat as well. Much love to you and Urine, my friend. Good to see you. Who else we got there as well chiming in the live stream? I'd like to give everybody a shout out. John Thompson, who that to you, John? Good to see you as well. Sport Talk 365, what up, fam? Says New Orleans Saints section. What's good, Q? What's good with you, family? Good to see you in the live stream. Much love, man. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Crass. Appreciate my man Crass chilling in Cali. He says, who that Q? Keep doing the show. I'll keep supporting the broadcast. Thank you, Crass. Much love to you, my friend. Appreciate your support, my man. Thank you very much. Much love to you, bro. Really do appreciate that. Okay, what else we got there? Iceman says, Q, you've noticed that the main media always wants New Orleans teams to have nothing. I've heard Max Kellerman saying that the Pelicans were the worst situation for Zion, and that is BS. Dada, who that to you, Dada? Good to see your family. You're absolutely right, man. But that's why, you know, like so many other people, y'all, if I'm not usually doing Saints talk, I'm doing Pelican talk with the Pelican post game report. If I'm not doing Pelican talk, I'm doing Ring King Boxing World talk or Fight talk. Sports football is my first sport love in terms of me playing that when I was in high school. Of course, I played a little basketball in high school, a little baseball and whatnot. But the fights are also in my blood as well. So, I have a taste of overall sport talk. So when I'm not doing Saint talk, I'm doing Pelican talk. If I'm not doing Pelican talk and Saint talk, I'm doing fight talk. If I'm not doing fight talk, I'm doing Tiger talk, tough Tiger talk. If I'm not doing that, I'm talking somewhere and saying some type of stuff. But anyway, you're absolutely right. I don't subscribe to Max Kellerman on the football tip. Only thing I listen to him on is boxing, because Max knows boxing. That's where he comes from. And that is what I respect Max Kellerman on, is boxing. As far as the Pelicans are concerned, they wouldn't be happy for him to be there. They wanted him up in New York, and New York stinks. New York stinks, and not too long ago, the Lakers stunk. So the mind frame of most leagues is to make sure the big teams, whether it was Chicago, Los Angeles, Detroit, New York, or a market attached to New York like New Jersey, or one of those type of teams, are doing good. Even the big cities down south like a Houston, Atlanta, not so much, but Houston's always in the mix if you notice. And of course, on the West Coast, whether it's the Los Angeles Clippers or the Lakers, they have to have some of those big market teams to be relevant. Now, right now, the trend is you got small market teams that are relevant, like Milwaukee with Giannis. That seemed like it was kind of a deal where he just evolved into what he was. He was really something special, but people didn't really understand who this kid was, and he evolved to what he is now. So I would say that's more fortune than it is anything. But some of the small market teams are starting to get ground, but you notice they bounce it around a time or two. But it's interesting, man. It's just how they choose to play, but they decide flip-flop it one way or another. Okay, thank you for that question. Once again, who that to your daughter? JT said, I don't listen to WWL sports anymore. Thank you, Q. WWL, man, they screwing up sports down here, to be honest with you, bro. You hear the reporters, man. The reporters talk about it all the time. You have guys like Duncan, and I've been reading Duncan stuff for years, man. But the crazy part is that's why I respect certain reporters who keep it real. Like Bob Rose. Bob Rose keeps it real, man. He keeps it real. Bob comes on the show. He's been on the show several times. Y'all know him and his crew at the Saints News Network. Those guys, they give a lot of respect to guys like us that's doing it, that are in between them and the fan base. You see what I'm saying? Because we understand what our role is from a financial and social impact, because people can resonate with you because you represent what the people are. And you might not agree with everything somebody's saying that you representing, but that's okay. As long as, we are in the same accord, we'll have more commonality than not. But I respect a guy like Bob Rose, because a lot of these guys out here, they got heads like they celebrities, man. You standing next to a celebrity don't make you a celebrity. Standing next to LeBron does not make me get paid like LeBron. You understand? Some people believe they could pull off of that and do that and attach and affix. It don't, in certain weird cases that can occur. But I'm telling the reporters out there, and they listen to the show, come up off your damn high horse and go talk to those men that do shows like I do. Get up off your ass and get your phone, be a Bob Rose, and talk to those men, because you're not higher than those people. And I'm throwing that out there because they have a mentality like, oh, we the junk, we the stuff, we run this and we do this. No, you don't run a goddamn thing. And WWL been saying for a while, have a monopoly, but they weak. But as far as there is no money floating through the area for stuff like this to occur. ESPN don't pump no money into Moscona. And I got to give Matt Moscona credit, because I communicate with him and he communicates back. He just got to screw up schedule. Sooner or later we'll make something work. But that's the thing, man. I don't have no goddamn big head, man. I'm the same as the people up here. I would not dare even think about having a mentality like that. I work hard and I respect the family members that come in and show some love, I show love right back, for real. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I ain't above talking to nobody. I bring guys in that got their own shows and talk here on the platform. I bring in reporters. I talk to anybody. You know, y'all know that, man. Y'all know that I keeps it 100% real deal, baby. Bottom line. Don't make me put the Reverend up here on you. But to them reporters out there, WWL and all these other reporters, like the Duncans and all that, get up off your goddamn high horse and talk to guys like me and others out there that's doing great work. Talk to them. You'll find it's a whole nother world for you to tap into. Get off, pop that big ass head. Cut it out. Anyway, I'm going to keep it going, family, before I get on the spiel, because I can get a lot rougher than that. But I'm going to just keep it cool right now. I'm going to keep it cool. But much love to guys like Bob Rose and the rest of the guys that's really doing it the right way. Much love. All right, let's keep it going, family. Once again, Crash, thank you for your super chat, my friend. Thank you very much. The rest of the family members chiming in. Thank you for that, JT, as well, family. Appreciate you. You comment. Jermaine, what up, Jermaine? Jermaine Scobie in the building. Trail Hatch, what up, Trail? Good to see your family. Much love to you in the live stream as well. Nick 504, what up, Nick? How you doing, friend? Appreciate you joining the live stream. Inevitable, what up, Inevitable Expertise joining us, saying what's up, brother? Good to see you in the chat as well. Much love to you, my man. Appreciate you chiming in this fine Wednesday. And of course, Sport Talk section, New Orleans section, WWL in bed with the Saints because the team is paying them off to say only good stuff. That is true. Sport Talk, and I give you that, man. You're absolutely right. And that's why a lot of people say, Q, you need to go. Nah, I ain't going over there, man. Because if I see something wrong, I'm going to call your ass out. And I'd rather not. Independent is the way to be. You can take a lesson from Master P. You can take a lesson from a lot of people that did the independent route, because you keep your soul, if you know what I mean. You don't sell your soul or your morals or who you are to be a part of something. And I tell my children that all the time. Never compromise. Don't compromise who you are to get down with none of them. If you can't go into something retaining who you are, then that ain't the place for you, baby. You don't belong there, baby. And that stuff, that's like the way I speak is like grandpa talk. This is what grandpa or grandma or your smart uncle, who just got through drinking a little bit. He started becoming a philosopher. He would tell you that. He would say, look here, baby. He'd be like the Rev. Let the Rev talk to you about, look here, baby, let me tell you something, baby. Baby, let me tell you something, baby. Let me tell you something, baby. Listen, baby. Baby, let me tell you, baby, if you got to go anywhere, baby, you got to go anyway, baby. And they want you to compromise, baby. They want you to believe stuff or to say stuff that your people, your mama, your daddy, baby, your church didn't teach you to say, baby. That ain't the place for you, baby. Don't you go nowhere, baby. Don't you compromise. Don't compromise who you are, baby, for money or anything, baby. Because that's worth more than gold, baby. You hear me, baby? I'm telling you the real, baby. I'm telling you the truth, baby. What's yours is yours, baby. It don't matter, baby. You gonna get it one way or the other, baby. Don't you be out there thinking that you won't get it, baby. Whatever in your mind's eye, baby, you can have it. All you have to do is work behind it, baby. Work behind it, baby. Stay on it, baby. Because ain't nothing out there that you want they can keep away from you, baby. Never compromise who you are, baby. Never sell out, baby. Or they try to trick you and say you ain't selling out, baby. You just buying in, baby. It's the same thing, baby. Don't believe in nonsense, baby. I'm telling you the truth, baby. Keep your soul, baby. Who that to you, baby? Who that? Thank you, Reverend. Appreciate you. That's the Reverend over there. Thank you, the Reverend chimed in, man. Much love to the Rev. The Rev had to drop it on y'all right quick because that needs to be said, man. Never compromise who you are for money or anything. If they can't accept who the hell you are, the way you are, that ain't the place for you, baby. Stay away from it. Thank you. Who that? That's my public service announcement. All right, let's keep it going, baby. William says, so with training camp down to 80 players instead of 90s, we're going to cover that, William. I got an article. We're going to talk about that today. I got 5 articles. Then I'm going to open up the phone lines for the family members to chime in on this episode of the Sports Coma Wednesday, Saints Talk Wednesday. But that's one of the things we're going to talk about. The proposal to drop the roster from 90 to 10 definitely impacts the undrafted guys. They had an uphill battle from the get-go to make the team. But now with the reduction from 90 to 80, that's problematic for those guys. The practice squad players are severely impacted. Or perhaps some of the injured guys right now. With that being said, maybe some of the injured guys like Akiko Alonso, who's not fully healthy, maybe those guys, perhaps those guys will be missed out. Or perhaps the reduction from 90 to 80 in training camp could play a part as well. It's many different variables there, but we'll cover that in the show. He says like 20 on the practice squad for what it. He says more. Do you think they'll put more players like 20 on the practice squad for what it is? Well, it's not so much as they're said as much as 16 people, but they're not done proposing. They're still working it out. So we might see an increase of the practice squad. And I'll be for that. He said also 8 days till camp start. Clowney or Griffin. Hey, all right, Clowney or Griffin, nothing on them right now. We should hear something really rolling really soon between both those men, most likely Clowney, because it's the perceived notion is that he's the top guy left on the board. So that domino should fall really soon. There is absolutely nothing on that one right now. It's being real quiet. But several teams are in the fray. The Cowboys, the Saints, Titans, all these other guys are in the fray. We'll see. We'll get into some of those. Thank you for that, William. Elite Goods. Who that to you, Elite? Good to see your family in the building. Good to see you as well. DJ said the Pelicans are playing now. They're scrimmaging right now. Yep. Yeah. Kevin says, Q, we need DBs more than pass rushers. Bro, I think we was third in the league in sacks last year, but we got burned in the backfield bad last year. I know we addressed it, and we should get better. Yeah, we should get better. Jenkins plays a part of it if he doesn't opt out. With the proposed opt-out, if he says, I don't feel like playing or I don't feel safe, he can opt out, and that will force the Saints to then address it via free agency. And I wouldn't be proposed to having a guy like Eric Reed come in here. You still have DJ Swearinger back there, but I would love to see Eric Reed come here. I think he was loaned for the Saints. I would love to see Eric Reed in the Saints uniform. And I would consider him, from a moral standpoint, maybe an upgrade over Malcolm Jenkins, if you know what I mean. If you know the optics behind what I'm talking about. So we'll just have to see. Thank you for that, family. But yeah, the edge rushers are awesome. But the Saints notice the Clowney talk is because they want to elevate that pass rush, because the philosophy, and I tend to believe, I definitely know for a fact that if you have a really good pass rush, that it makes the secondary look a hell of a lot better. So you might have a secondary that's not, that's maybe middle of the pack in terms of defense. But if you got an elite top 3 pass rush firing off, that's going to make that secondary look a hell of a lot better. And I think that's a portion of it that the Saints realize that they have to get that right. And they got good pass rushers. The issue is injuries just swallow these guys up. Davenport, Hendrickson. And then there's nothing behind these guys that can keep a consistent rush on that side. So they're coming at it in different ways from different positions to hope that continues the trend going. But we'll just have to see on that. But I'm not against having another defensive back coming here, a veteran like some time ago. I think a couple of shows ago when Bentley Morrison was saying that when he called in. Thank you, Kevin, for that. Who that to you? Let's see who else we got there. Jose, what up, Jose? Who that? Jose Calderon. Good to see your family in a live stream as well. Much love to you. Cameron, good to see you, Cameron. Good to see you in the chat as well. He says, my Yankees host Washington tomorrow to Sunday. Okay, thank you, Cameron. Appreciate you, man. Let's see. John says, I hope they increase the practice squad. We'll see. They're still working it out, William says, big time Q edge rusher will make the back end better. True. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Inevitable say, I wonder, with no preseason, if they'll at least allow us to scrimmage with Houston or someone else we can evaluate talent. I don't know about them allowing us to scrimmage. I think I want to go back in my recollection and say a while ago that they were eliminating the scrimmages. I want to say that, but I'm not for certain on that. But you would think that would be a common practice, being that, okay, well, no preseason, that means we'll have to have a series of scrimmages against a nearby team. Maybe Houston, I guess, would be the closest. Going west and going east would be what, Atlanta? But either way, we need to have, whether it's Houston or Dallas, that would be, in my opinion, a good thing to do. And we've scrimmaged against Houston before. Let's beat up on their players as opposed to beating up our own players in practice and getting them hurt. Thank you, Inevitable. Appreciate that as well. So, family, please hit the like button. If you hadn't already, hit the like button. Hit the like button right now. As we get ready to get into some of our topics today. Gundam, who that to you? Gundam, good to see you. Much love to you and greetings to you as well, my friend. Now, Pelicans Nola, who that Pelicans Nola? Good to see your family as well chiming in the building. Please hit the like button, family. If you aren't a subscriber, feel free to subscribe. Now, well, I'm going to get ready to share my screen with the family members, and we're going to start off with one of the articles. At first, I'm going to do about 4 articles. I'm going to go over them, then open up the phone lines for live call-in as well. So the first one on the docket is Saints Malcolm Jenkins says Trump ignoring purpose of national anthem protest. He understands the point. Trump tweeted earlier that the game is over for me if he sees players kneel. And of course, Malcolm in the middle, you know, he going to get his 2 cents in there. He says one of the more outspoken players in the NFL to advocate kneeling during the anthem took aim at the president Tuesday, arguing that Trump is choosing to ignore the true meaning behind the protest. Jenkins said in an interview with CNN that Trump understands that athletes choosing to kneel during the national anthem aren't disrespecting the flag in doing so. He continues to say he understands the point of protest, and at this point he's choosing to ignore it. And Jenkins' comments were in response to a tweet that the president sent out Tuesday morning when he said he would not be tuning into games if he sees athletes kneel. Looking forward to live sports, he wrote, but anytime I witness player kneeling during an anthem, a sign of the great disrespect for our country and flag, the game is over for me. Of course, I don't agree with that, but many people agree with President Trump, and that's just what America's about. We can choose to disagree. We can agree. We can disagree. You know, we can agree, we can disagree. You know, some people, that's just what it is. That's just what their stance are going to be. You know, and the football is over for me. I didn't realize he was such a football guy, but it is what it is. We live in America where you can choose to disagree with the president or Malcolm Jenkins or anybody. At the end of the day, it is what it is. You know, your beliefs. We're going to just keep it moving. You know, that's just keeping it real. Okay, next article, 2020 Saints rookie ranking roster locks and long shots. This is from the Saints Wire, one of my favorite Saints online resource besides the whothatdaily.com. You know, for obvious reasons, y'all know. All right, let's keep it going here, family. Okay, now the article basically breaks down and says that New Orleans Saints, as Arlene's misspelled there, have built one of the best rosters in the NFL, and that means it'll be difficult for young rookies to find a role for themselves, even in the normal offseason, much less the bizarre one we're experiencing dealing with the C-19. That might explain why the Saints were so careful in their draft strategy, burning multiple picks in the trade to add instant impact players while they were pursuing undrafted free agents. It would be surprising if any of them made the team. A few fans expected Shy Tuttle of Granison to earn regular season snaps this time last year. No one thought Harris will go on to win All-Pro recognition and a Pro Bowl spot who were following their steps. Who's next up? Of course, to find out is they surveyed the 2020 Saints rookie class and ranked them to make our best guess at who might shine this year. Of course, Blake Gillikin is Penn State's a long shot. Now, this was interesting because it's been a long time that I remember that the Saints brought in a punter to compete with Thomas Morstead. That has been a long time since I've seen that come. In games we trust, who that to your family. Good to see you in the live stream. Much love to your fam. Good to see you. Patrick Washington, who that to you, Pat. Good to see you in the building, man. Appreciate you joining the live stream today. Who that to you. Hit the like buttons, family, please. Moving forward, now, this article raised some interesting points. I did overlook this one at first because I didn't know that Thomas Morstead, this punter, was the first punter the Saints had in training camp since the rookie year, Thomas Morstead. I didn't know that. But that is really, that's really interesting into itself that Gillikin is on this team. Now, we do know that Thomas Morstead, in my opinion, is the best punter the Saints ever had. I believe that he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, you know, if you're looking at the punters. But listen, as far as punters is concerned, Thomas Morstead is the best in the business, in my opinion. It's maybe one or two of them up there that's in the top with him, but in my opinion, he's the best in the business. This Gillikin guy was very good. And then you bring him in to compete with Morstead, who's making between 4 to 6 million a year. So perhaps this could be, they're looking to see if Gillikin can unseat Thomas Morstead in a battle in camp. This is interesting. Many people don't look at the punter battle because they see Tommy got it wrapped up. But the Saints don't usually do this type of stuff unless there's something to it. They really like this kid. And to put him head to head with, in my opinion, one of the NFL's best punter, we're going to see some sports here. We're going to see some sports right here. Now, that doesn't mean Gillikin is other than a training camp leg. Remember, they did the same thing with Will Lutz. They got him from Baltimore, signed him to the practice squad. Then he moved from the practice squad to the active roster, and then it was over with. That was how Will got down here. Will Lutz was told, was put on Sean Payton's mind by Harbaugh from Baltimore. And I'm forever indebted as a Saints fan to Harbaugh for calling Peyton, who's a close friend of his, and telling him, listen, we got this kid down here, and this guy is awesome. If I had room, I would, if I have my guy who's probably one of the best in the business, the Baltimore punter, then this. So I'm telling you about this guy, and it's been over ever since Will Lutz been down here. But anyway, this is interesting onto itself with Blake Gillikin, because to see him go at Morstead, and of course the reduction of the roster could impact that as well. So we'll see. Also on the list is cornerback Tino Ellis, the 6-foot-tall cornerback from Maryland. They consider him a long shot. And both, relative to be honest with you, Ellis and the other cornerback from West Virginia are considered long shots now, with the proposal of a dropping of the active roster from 80 to 90. Of course, injuries can factor in that as well. But yeah, these guys, these young cornerbacks are long shots to make the active roster. I would definitely look at practice squad in these guys. No doubt about it. They got a lot of potential. Now, they're on the active roster right now. You still have guys like P.J. Williams, and I want to see what XFL cornerback Dietrich Nichols could do. He'd be the smallest of the cornerbacks, but he's a feisty guy with a lot of toughness. Now, I don't anticipate Ellis making the active roster unless injuries occur. Keith Washington is the Virginia cornerback I just spoke about. He's basically in the same boat with Tino Ellis, both 6 feet tall corners. I like those guys. Tony Jones Jr. is considered a long shot by any stretch of the imagination because of the fact that the Saints have a lot of depth at the running back position behind Kamara, Latavius Murray. Then you throw Ty Montgomery, in my opinion, goes over to the third top running back that you have because of what he brings to the Saints offense. So I would say that Montgomery is third, followed by Dwayne Washington. Now, perhaps if Dwayne Washington could learn how to play fullback, that's something that I was throwing out there. He can really he could challenge the fullbacks. Let's say, just throw it out there. Dwayne, try to be a fullback. If you really want to make this team, and if the Saints are going to keep 3 running backs, Washington could be in trouble. Now, of course, we know he's a good special teams guy, but we'll see. Do the Saints keep 4 running backs and a fullback? See what I'm saying? If you want to do it, you could still be a running back like what you are, but learn that fullback position, because if he learns that, in my opinion, he could be better than both Ortiz and Burton. Who the hell are they? In my opinion, we have some of the weakest fullbacks in the game, but if Dwayne Washington can learn that skill set, man, he can leapfrog those guys and plus be more of an athletic version at the fullback position for the Saints. He blocks well and all that. Plus, you can keep him as a special teamer. Since we're a positionless football team, I thought I'd just throw that out there. It also bodes well for Tony Jones Jr., who I believe is headed for the practice squad barring injury. But I like the kid's potential. Guys like Taquan Mizell, who was listed as a running back. Some people has him as a wide receiver. He's a little scat back guy. He was on the practice squad last year. He could end up there in the street, in my opinion. Gus Cumberlander is a guy a lot of people like. Big, lean, tall defensive end who can be kind of a tweener at linebacker. What hurt him was the fact that he had injuries at Oregon, but the Saints like his potential. But you have Cumberlander there, Mario Edwards, and then you have Marcus Hunt. There's guys like Carl Granderson. That position is loaded and deep. Now, he's 6'7", about 265, 270. Cumberlander is definitely a long shot. I see a practice squad ace of anybody. I would put him on the practice squad. I think he'd do something. Adrian McGee is definitely a long shot. I mean, he comes from LSU. He had a pretty decent year last year as an offensive lineman, but he is a long shot to make the team, no doubt about it. Perhaps a practice squad guy there. I agree with that. Darren Paulo's another long shot. I agree with that. Could be another practice squad guy from Utah. Jawan Johnson, some thinking about him in a wave like a Brandon Coleman type. That'll be interesting because the wide receivers, we'll see how it all shakes out as far as the wide receivers go. But we'll see because the wide receiver position is very loaded. The undrafted guys have a really high, tough battle. Malcolm Roach, a guy that could play interior or exterior, or, outside or inside as far as defensive lines are concerned. So we'll just have to see how he shakes. Who that to you, D. Granger and Ramsey. Wars, who that to your family. Thank you for joining us. Roach is interesting as well. That's why I was throwing out that stuff about having a team with as deep as the Saints go. We'll see, because Malcolm Roach is a guy that they'll want to see. And then, of course, one of my favorite guys, they consider him a long shot, but Sean Payton loves tall, fast, physical wide receivers that can catch. Marquez Callaway, 6'2", about 200 pounds. He's not 4'5", 4'4", 4'5" speed, but he can run. He got deceptive speed. He makes difficult catches, and the kid could be something really good for the Saints, being that there's so much uncertainty behind the top two, which is Sanders and Thomas. And, of course, Taysom's in there, Montgomery, and different players you can mix in. But being that there's so much uncertainty with guys like Traquan Smith behind the wide receiver position, one of these guys, if not two, perhaps, could step up and steal a spot on his team. Like I said, the undrafted guys, we'll just have to see, man, because that don't necessarily mean that if they do decide to say we're going to ratify this thing and we're going to drop it from 90 to 80, that the first people they're going to put on the street is the undrafted guys. A component of that will go on the street, but the Saints are going to also take guys, veteran guys that's on the team maybe a year or two and put them in the street because they see more potential and some of the younger counterparts as well. So you could see a mix of that going on. I don't see any big names, but I do like Callaway prospects. Jordan Steckler's another guy they consider on the bubble. He's a pretty decent offensive lineman, practice squad player in my opinion. Joe Bashy Jr. is another guy, linebacker, very heady. I think he has an opportunity to make this team as well. If he can stay healthy, the linebacker position, if you're a linebacker, a young linebacker for the New Orleans Saints, and you have guys like Alex Anzalone, Kiko Alonso, and guys like that that's ahead of you, these guys have a propensity to get hurt. Joe Beshy could find himself as a reserve linebacker. I'm just keeping it real. The Saints definitely going to put this kid on the practice squad. Ain't no doubt about it. Caden Ellis made it. Chase Hansen and Dowell, I think those guys are long shots in his right, but Beshy could be. Tommy Stevens is on the bubble they listed. I think Tommy Stevens makes the active roster because of the obvious fact the Saints drafted him. They've moved back into the 7th round of the draft to grab this guy. They see him as a clone of Taysom Hill. There's no way they're going to put this guy on the street unless he stinks. Unless he really stinks, they'll put Tommy Stevens on the street. But as far as what I'm looking at, I think the Saints are going to find a role for this guy to be on the team. Whether he's playing at tight end, wide receiver, special team, whatever, it don't matter. They're going to find a way to keep him on the street. You will not practice Tommy Stevens because teams like Carolina will take him off of your practice squad. So he was saying practice squad and all this kind of stuff. I don't see that unless the guy gets hurt, he stinks or something like that. Then they get rid of him. But Tommy Stevens, in my opinion, you don't do all that and then release the guy, even though he's a 7th round draft pick. But remember all of the big spiel that Sean Payton put up behind him? Remember that? Remember all that? He put all the big stink in and sticking out his tongue and doing the little thing children do when they put their hand underneath their chin and wave their fingers. Doing all that to Carolina. I don't think he puts them on the street, man. Kelvin Throckmorton, this is a guy that plays every position well, and when he gets out to tackles, like Bob Rose astutely mentioned, that he doesn't play the tackle position very well. He doesn't have the athletic speed to cover some of the more gifted edge rushers, but interior, center, and guard-wise, he is interesting. He could be a practice squad player because of his versatility. Troutman, of course, we know Troutman's going to make the roster. We don't even have to say nothing about that. Of course, we know that Zach Bowen is going to do it too. And of course, we know Cesar Ruiz. Those guys are definitely going to make the roster, the active roster, besides injury. So that's the article. Let's move to the next one. And this NFL proposing dropping the roster to 80 players. Now, of course, this article is written by Mario Nichols. Big up to Mario, who's a WhoDatDaily.com NFL contributor. He covered it. He says the NFL released another proposal that recommended decreasing the roster to 80 players. The proposal is to drop the roster by 10 players in response to social distance measures in team facilities. NFL sources also said the league and the union officially agreed Tuesday to drop all preseason games for the 2020 season. NFL and the NFLPA are getting ever so closer to an agreement on rules that will govern training camp and the season under the difficult pandemic. Sources who were on the call Tuesday said there has been an agreement on several issues, but work remains to be done on others. So that's some of the news right there from the 80-man proposed roster shots. What are those impacts? And see, not just the 80-man roster drop, but there are several impacting factors that once the talks are all done, that can ultimately impact the team in many ways. The 80-man roster, of course, will impact veterans who, some veterans the Saints might seem they won't move on from, undrafted guys who want to make a name for themselves. They already have it difficult, so it can impact a mishmash of those guys. And also, one of the most impactful proposals that's coming is the opt-out proposal. I talked about this before; it wasn't even a thing with the NFL, And my mentality was they're going to offer an opt-out. Which players on this team will take that opt-out, and how would that impact the team going into the season? That's another underlying issue. Let's move on to the next article, and that is fans required to wear face coverings at NFL games in 2020. Now, this was released today by the NFL, and it says that all fans attending games this season will be required to wear face coverings. Now, that came from NFL spokesman Brian McCarthy, who announced the league-wide plan today. He said it will be mandatory for players, not players, just players, but fans to wear face coverings, a mask, or whatever you want to call it. Several teams have announced they've required any fans attending games to wear masks, and it remains unclear to what extent fans will be able to attend games. The Jets and Giants announced this week that they would play home games without fans. A number of teams are playing for a dramatically reduced number of fans in stands at this point. Regardless of how many fans are allowed to attend in 2020, they'll be required or mandatory. It's mandatory for them to wear face coverings, 985 Live, who there to you, family? Thank you for joining us. So that's a portion of the game as well, family, that some teams saying they won't have any people in the stands. So you might have, let's say is it going to look like this, where that you have some people that in some stadiums, let's say the first week we play Tampa, in the Dome, you have 20,000 people. Let's just say that. Then when we go to Oakland, there are no fans in the stands. Is that what we're looking at? That has to be worked out as if we're going to have fans or not. It seems like they kind of opting in. And that's weird because, I would think you would want a standard there because crowd, 20-something thousand people in the building versus 0 people in the building. That's a big difference. So would there be a weird advantage, a home field advantage to people who advocating for fans in the stands versus those who don't? That's a component. Now, real professional teams, that shouldn't impact them because they should be able to play games in front of people. You're right on that. But it's always that component. Okay, and then to bounce back to Cam Jordan, of course, this is covered by the WhoDatDaily.com as well. All pro in Cam Jordan. Nothing in me says Saints aren't a title caliber team. Now, of course, Cam Jordan made an appearance on XFL radio on Monday. Big shout out to Arthur Rooks from WhoDatDaily.com. The Saints contributed, much love. Says that Cam, who's coming off of an excellent year in which he compiled 15.5 sacks and a Pro Bowl appearance, sees a lot of potential in the team. Cam covered several topics and thoughts on his current rendition of the Saints. He also gave thoughts on coming into year 10 and teams hopefully the playoffs, hope for playoffs. He says, absolutely, I'm heading into year 10. I love it. Jordan told host Brady Quinn and Kirk Morrison. I'm super excited about it. You know, there's nothing in me that's telling me that our team isn't close to a championship or being a championship caliber team. If you look at the last 3 years, you know, playoffs, NFC championship, playoffs. This is something that we have to capitalize off. He also then said, you talk about Drew coming back, our addition of Jameis Winston. You talk about, you know, we lose Von Bell. We bring in Malcolm Jenkins. We go draft an outside linebacker and Zach Bowen kid. You know, Alex is going to be healthy. There are so many positives on paper. I just want to get back to the field and really see what we have. That's a portion of the interview from Cam Jordan. I have some of the audio, about 1 minute and 47 seconds of Cam. I'm going to play that for the family members to listen to Cam Jordan. Please let me know if you guys can hear the audio well. Here we go.
You say you're in good shape. You're ready to go, man. I'm sure you're chomping at the bit to get to playing some football, huh?
Absolutely. I'm hitting the year 10. I love it. I'm super excited about it. You know, there's nothing in me that is telling me that our team isn't close to a championship or being a championship caliber team. If you look at the last 3 years, you know, playoff, NFC championship, playoff, this is something that we have to capitalize on. You talk about Drew coming back, our addition of Jameis Winston. You talk about, you know, we lose Von Bell, we bring in Malcolm Jenkins. We go draft an outside linebacker, and this Zach Bowen kid. You know, Alex Anzalone to be healthy. There's so many positives on paper. I just want to get that to the field and really see what we have.
Do you feel like that window is closing just with the age of Drew and how everything's come together and just you guys have had a bad bout of unluckiness, I guess, the last few years?
The age of, 3 years ago we brought in Teddy, and, you know, Teddy B had sort of, you know, created his own thing. He was able to step in when Drew went down and went 5-0 when he was down. This year, you know, he goes off to Carolina. We bring in Jameis Winston. I don't know if our window is minimizing. I think we're maximizing everything we have on our table. Now, you know, you talk about Alvin Kamara, Mike T, guys who are electric playmakers who are young in the career. We're going to capitalize on everything we can as a team. Again, so if Drew goes down, now we have Jameis, who you know can throw for over 4,000 yards, who you know can score touchdowns, who has the arm, and now is under, I would say, direct tutelage of one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. So, you know, now I'm believing the hype. When Jameis said, "Hey, you know, if I correct a couple interceptions, you know, I'm going to be the greatest quarterback." Now we have the exact tutelage to give him on that realm.
All right, that was Cam Jordan, Cam the Man Jordan, Pro Bowler, second all-time greatest sacker in Saints history, only behind the all-powerful Super Bowl Hall of Famer Ricky Jackson. So that's some of the Saints news and notes prepared by yours truly on today's Wednesday, Saints Talk Wednesday. So we'll bounce back, family, and welcome a lot of the family members to the stream. Good to see you. Uncle Paulie is in the stream. Who that to you, Uncle Paulie? Uncle Paulie's in the building. Who that to you, Uncle Paulie? Good to see you. 504. My boy Tramal is in there. What up, Tramal? Good to see you, family. GM Kev joins the fray as well. Please hit the like button, family. We cover some news and notes, man, as well. And also to let the family members know, please subscribe to the WhoDatDaily.com. The WhoDatDaily.com. Go there, subscribe, or save that link in your phone. That's for Pelicans news, Saints news. If you're a Saints fan, which you are, if you want Saint content, we have, you know, contributors that write their own articles, stuff like that. Give the guys some support at the WhoDatDaily.com. Thank you. Javier, who that to you, Javier? Good to see you in the live stream. Says, any who that's been checking out, kick the coverage way better than Miss ESPN, Sports Center, Fox, if you want the truth. Thank you. Thank you, Javier. So a lot of the stuff is inconsistent, family. Who that to you, Heavy C? Good to see you, family, in the live stream as well. So, family, now I'm going to get to the point where I open up the live line and let some of the family members chime in and give their thoughts on some of the topics covered. Or if you guys just have questions pertaining to whatever you want to know. I mean, whatever it is, Saint related, we'll hash it out here today and figure it out. So let me see here. We're going to open up. The phone lines are now active. The phone lines are active. 504-475-4482. Live lines are open. So if you want to chime in with your thoughts and concerns on the Saints thus far in the season, feel free to hit the live line up 504-475-4482. We covered quite a few articles on today's show. Really interesting stuff, especially pertaining to the fact that the NFL is still working out several really key proposals about how camp is supposed to be delegated or relegated or operated. You know, to say that they getting this close to the season and haven't worked these things out is could be quite problematic. But of course, the I have much respect to the players who are standing firm in their abilities to not want the preseason. They stood firm on that. They won. Good to them for that. But the NFL, man, is something else, man. Really something else. But in this country, you know, as far as sports are concerned, football is God. And the NFL is the biggest of the bunch sports-wise in this country anyway. So we'll see how they're working it out. But several key factors, the reduction of the rosters, the proposal, because that's not mandated, that has not been agreed upon yet. They're still pretty much working that stuff out to see how things are going to be. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it as well. So the live line's open, 504-475-4482. Please feel free to hit the live lines if you want to get in. Tonight on Saturday, Saints Talk Wednesday. I'm going to get ahead of myself. Saints Talk Wednesday is in the building, man. Good to see y'all chiming in. Who that to you? Please hit the like button. Scoop says, could we be heading a call from GM Kev tonight? GM Kevin been in the building. I haven't heard from Kev in a while. But good to see him back in the chat, dropping Saints knowledge as well. Good to see old GM Kev back in the building. 504-475-4482. Live lines are open. Live lines are open. And like I said, man, we have some interesting topics for Wednesday. The dropping from proposals from 90 to 80. Impacting of the fan. Of course, the fans required to wear face coverings in the upcoming season if they so choose to allow people to come into the building. A lot of the NFL seems to be leaving that discussion up to the teams and wherever they're located at. So for right now, we'll see. But it's hard to believe that some of the NFL will not allow any fans in the stands. You know, even if it's a reduced number to under 20,000 people in the seats, you know, they'll be forced to be, you know, they'll have to wear face coverings. And of course, they'll be spaced out as well. And of course, you know that you can't get within 8 rows all around the arena once you go into the stands because they'll have gigantic banners placed up for advertisement. Of course, security probably will be near that as well. All right, family, thanks for calling the Sports Coma. Who's on the line?
It's Byron, Big Q. Byron.
What's up, Byron? How you doing, brother?
Oh, it's all good, bro. How you doing, man?
Oh, I can't complain, bro. I'm doing good, bro. I'm talking Saints, bro. You know I'm doing wonderful when I'm talking about the black and gold, baby.
Hey, you already know, man. That's how we do it, bro. Yeah, you mentioned about everything you had. You know, you were talking about, you know, the preseason game. You know, I think the NFL and the NFLPA did the right thing, you know, to cancel all the preseason game because to just get everybody, you know, get prepared for the regular season, you know, in 2020, you know, for training camp and everything, because I think that's the right thing to do because we wanted the players to be safety and so they can protect and get healthy and everything. So they got to worry about being concerned about anything, you know, playing the preseason game. You know, I think it's the right thing. We're heading in the right direction. You know, for, you know, once we get training camp started next Tuesday or next week. And I think they say they're going to get the players get tested daily for the first 2 weeks of training camp. So I think that's the right move for the NFL. And I'm glad it came on both sides of the agreement, you know, today more than they did a couple of days ago to get things finalized and came to agreement. So I'm happy for the NFL did what they had to do, you know, get everything, you know, settled, you know, and everything for the players, you know, to get ready for training camp this week and next week and everything, so we can head towards the regular season. But I think that the preseason is not more important than everything because we don't care about the preseason though. But I think that it's going to get our team, you know, healthy and ready, you know, once they get prepared for the season, and then also we get ready, you know, for that. And I think the fans you mentioned about the fans, allowed to the game for the season. I think that's the right move too, because we want to have fans in the stadium for the season to wear their masks and everything and stuff like that. But I think that the only 3 teams not going to have no fans is the Raiders, the Jets, and the Giants, because we heard about that a couple of weeks ago in the article that they're not going to have no fans in their stadium, though. But I know it's not going to impact the other team, like including our team and everything, because we're going to have fans anywhere it is in our stadium. I think that we know how we compromise that. We know we're not going to compare to anybody. Ain't going to have fans going to the game at all, though, for the season. So I think that it's a great feeling that we the beyond of. But I think that the circle is that fans gonna wear their masks though to go to the games though. But I'm glad that Brian McCarthy had mentioned about that in his tweet, and everything about wearing your mask and stuff like that. I think it's important for the fans to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to the home game and everything, so you want to take the risk, and then it's gonna be really more concerned about to be in the stadium and everything. So I think the fans gonna do the right thing to go to the game, wear their mask, protect themselves, and hope that everything be straight. Once they get there.
Well, Byron, I agree with that, man. I think they're doing what they think they're supposed to do. And the NFL is following the medical protocol as advised by different medical organizations that are, whether you agree or not with them, monitoring the pandemic. So they're abiding by the regulations that are being said. Same thing the NBA is doing, and MLB and other pro leagues are doing, is that they're monitoring this situation, and they thinking that masks will slow the spread of it. A lot of people disagree with that, but it is what it is. It's mandatory. You don't have a say-so in the matter if you're going to attend these games. But like if that's the protocol they're proceeding. We just proceed and move past it, man. But you are getting football. It might not be football in the way that you used to it, but it'll be football nonetheless. And I think people will get used to it, like when NBA start, the regular season restarts, and you'll see teams play almost similar to what you would see as a tournament, like the NCAA tournament. You'll see multiple courts being played, guys running up and down the field in a college-style environment when everybody's inside of a bubble. So it's interesting. But you're going to get sports, but it will not be sports like you remember it to be last year. That sense of normalcy is gone. It's gone. And I doubt you will ever get that back. You will ever get that back unless really hardcore things happen that I can't talk about on this show. But outside of that, I think that we do see it as a benefit for them to do these procedures. They feel like keeping these guys apart, wearing the protective equipment that's needed, the face guard, the Oakley face guard's another thing that people are looking at as well. So we'll see how it sets. Man. But for the most thing, several teams chose not to have fans in the stands. And then the key to it is also the people that chose not to have fans in the stands are the teams who have brand new arenas. And, what's the commonality with that? Because everybody else has chosen to have, majority of people have chosen to have fans in the stands. The new arena teams are saying no. And, why is that? But anyway, that's just my take on it right there, Byron.
Yeah, and like I say, the Las Vegas Raiders, they are the first team to have the new stadium, though. That's why I said we heard the owner from Mark Davis. He said they ain't gonna have no fans for the season in their stadium, though. And I think to me, the order they know we gotta go to Las Vegas that Monday night game, though. So I think to me that's gonna be a tough situation for them, though. Without fans in their stadium, because they ain't gonna have nobody at the game, though. Once we go travel in Las Vegas, though. So I think to me that, I'm not really much disappointed because they're not going to have fans for them. I think to me that, certain teams not going to think they're going to have much fans going to be in the stadium for the season. I think to me, we know we're going to have fans for us. I think to me that because we're going to have the advantage, when we play Tampa Bay in the Oakland, and I think to me that it's going to be different season this year than like it was in that last couple of years, though, a long year ago. So I think it's going to be the process is how the team is going to affect for them more than you're not going to have fans, period, in your stadium. Because I think if you have a new stadium, okay, how it's going to once the regular season begins. You know what I'm saying? Because I think to me that the orders that was set, you're gonna have nobody at your games. More everybody's gonna have games at their stadium though. You know what I'm saying? And I think to me it's gonna be a little split halfway of the mark, but I don't know how it's gonna go with team by team though. So I think to me that I don't know what to say though, but I think that the Raiders, it's gonna be a different situation for them though, man, without their fans though. You know what I'm saying? I think to me that you got a new stadium, the LA Chargers gonna have a new stadium and everything. And I don't know what to say, bro. I mean, it's just that it's gonna be a different year that we in right now. You know what I'm saying? I think the process is we don't know how it's gonna play out though, but it's gonna be an impact. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere it goes. But I think that we're gonna have a good football, but it's gonna be a different football season that we're gonna have in 2020.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's hard to see anyway because you've never seen that before. So it's hard to imagine what the season's going to be with a quarter of the people, less than a quarter of the stadium full. Very, very odd. And in many cases, a lot of people don't want it to happen at all. So, I mean, it's a conflict of interest in terms with a lot of people who want to see sports, but then don't want to see it the way they're accustomed to seeing it. Well, you know, we can't have that. If you're going to see football, if football is going to be played, it's going to look different to this year than it's ever looked before. So, you know, we'll see a lot of the not weird, but a lot of proposals that are due to come out that have yet to be determined, they're still working on via conference calls between the NFL and the union to decide the rest of this stuff and how it's going to go as they get closer and closer to training camp. But my contention is that I don't think it could be a possibility that the camp is going to be delayed because they've not finished working out the protocols and the regulations needed. Because the NFL can propose something, but before it actually become a rule, the league or the union has to then agree to it, and then it'll be accepted. So they're still knocking out proposals every day. So today you've seen several things you heard about, from the 90 to 80 thing, and then from 80 down to the customary 56. What about the fact that they're supposed to elevate the roster spots this year, like they elevated the practice squad? It's supposed to be an elevation of the active roster in accordance to the pandemic. So that was a proposal that was supposed to be done as well. That is yet to be determined, and as so far as what's supposed to be happening in the league. So we'll see exactly how it all plays, man. But from what I'm seeing right now, they still have a long way to go before we see anything concrete, to keep it real with you.
Yeah, I mean, wow. I mean, I agree 100% though, and I think that we still got time, you know, before training camp start, like I say, next Tuesday. But I mean, they're gonna still do delayed tests on the players and everything once they at training camp and everything. And I think they're gonna bring low to like 5%. You know what I'm saying? If you get tested, and say you're gonna bring the result next 24 hours or 8 or 10 days at least. You know what I'm saying? And once you come back to the facility and everything, it's if you don't get positive and everything. But I think the point is that we know we're doing the right thing, that we're trying to protect the players and everything. That's what they're doing. That's what the NFL wants the players to do, to be safe and everything. So they know they can be healthy and be in good condition so they get ready for the season, though, once the season hit in September. But I want to think that we're wasting our time and say, okay, we don't know what's going to happen next. We know everything's going around, though, right now, though. And we're dealing with everything with the pandemic and the COVID-19 and everything. We get that. But the issue is that we're trying what's best for the players, you know what I'm saying, to do the right thing, you know what I'm saying. They go to training camp. Okay, that's why they can't, like I say, they cancel preseason game. You're not going to have that. So you get that out the way. So they're doing is that they want the teams to go and get ready for training camp. Okay, that's what they're doing. But what if one player get tested? That's what I'm saying. What if one player get tested? Okay, is it going to affect the team, or is it going to affect everywhere once we in training camp? That's the question. Because I think to me that when we heard NFL and NFLPA was saying, okay, nobody ain't get tested yet till, you know, we see how it's going to play out, though. But what if the player do get tested, though? That's what I want to find out right there.
Okay, if you're saying if the player gets tested, if he tests
Yeah,
positive.
what if like yeah, exactly. What if one player get tested, you
Mhm.
know, at training camp, like once we, get to that day.
Well, I mean, I anticipate like a lot of. I mean, what I'm looking at to be. I'm gonna put it to you like this. Put it to you like this, bro. And I think that you'll see a lot of similarities between what the NBA doing. The NFL will mimic and do the same thing. If you paid attention to what the NFL doing, Byron, they have technology that they'll use. They'll put on these players. There is a wristband or that the players all have to wear in the NBA at the bubble city, and it's a proximity alarm that goes off. But not only that, but it's not only a tracking device, but it also alerts when people get within 6 feet of you to stay distance from them. It also gives information pertaining to if that you have been tested to have it, then they will go look into your tracking device that you wear on your wrist that they provide to you, and then they will then track back because each one of the tracking units that they have, these wrist units that they're wearing, has a special code on them that attaches it to the player. So if you come within the proximity of whoever over a predetermined period of time, and then you've shown the habit, then they will then test the people that you came in contact with according to that device. And that is not something. This technology is not indicative of just the NFL. I mean the NBA, the NFL will all use the NBA, the MLB, all of them going to use the same technology to maintain the social distance and all this kind of stuff. But these are the parameters in place. If a person is found to be tested, they will have been removed. And then, of course, they'll have some more round of testing to make sure people don't have it. And then that person will have to sit out for that period of time and then monitor daily until they've shown to not have anything. And then they'll be allowed to come back. Now, that wait period is still being worked on. What the NBA and that NFL did release some information about. I think it's between 10 to 14 days. It's similar to the NBA. So a lot of the stuff the NBA doing as far as testing, the NFL would then adopt. And I'm talking about technology-wise, protocols, procedure, because none of this stuff is exclusive to any league. This is something that's on high that everybody would operate with. And I'm saying they beta tested this on athletes like right now, but sooner or later that will be put out to the populace. So I mean, it's a unique way of doing it, but I'm just telling you the truth. And people got their philosophies and stuff like that, and I got mine too, but what it is it is what it is. So they beta testing it on athletes right now. It is what it is, and that's how they'll maintain the social distancing. And if something or they got sick, they can be able to track back according to the devices in who they came in contact with, and that's how they will test these players. But remember, they'll have a daily testing up to a point, but they will continue to test not only for the C19, but also steroids and PEDs and all that as well. So all that'll be restarted once the season starts. And remember, don't be surprised if you see guys getting suspended for PEDs because they're not testing them right now. So don't forget to know that you're gonna get a bump of that when the season starts as well. Because you already got a guy that got to sit his ass off for 4 games right now because he dirty. And I'm talking about Hurst. Hurst was tested dirty. He failed a test and he sat out. They suspended him for 4 games. So the Saints got this guy on the team and he has to sit out for, I think it's 3 or 4 games. I won't say 4 games.
4
Correct me
games,
to check.
4
Okay.
games.
So he out for a month.
4 games.
So he out for a month until he pays his dues so he can return. So, but this is a part of what it is, what life is being NFL in the pandemic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and that's why I had mentioned that question because, we know certain players, get, with PED and doing drugs and stuff like that, marijuana and all that stuff, dope and everything. I think to me that's why it's important to get tested though. You know what I'm saying? Because it's important because you got to take things serious about that. Because you got to worry about you're careless. You worry about your condition and everything, your health and everything, your body and everything and stuff like that. But you don't want this thing. It's gonna be a little personal. That it's gonna cause it. But I think that you gotta watch how you do things. It's gonna affect everything. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to do things how you're gonna do it. It's gonna be the wrong way. So I think it's good to get tested though for a reason though, because you want to, to make sure everything's okay with you and everything. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want thing that's gonna be a problem that you're gonna be dealing with. But like I say, it's a tough situation that everybody, is beyond. But I think that we gotta do things and follow with it though. And that's why, the NFL, like I said, in the PA and everything, they're doing on both sides. They came to agreement with that, you know what I'm saying? So you want to have players get tested though, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I say I tip my hat to that though, because I agree with that 100% what the NFL doing though. You know what I'm saying? And I'm 100% with them though. And I'm glad they got everything straight though, and everything they got to say, but they're going to continue to get everything, done and everything. Like I say, once we get towards training camp next week, and then we can go ahead and get prepared for that and everything and such on that and go into the regular season.
Yeah, that's a part of it, and you're right, and they're taking the safest course of action, of course, and that's what the NFL is going to do. They're going to follow the protocols set, and if something were to occur, that will be the movement. But there's also to be a proposal discussed that would acquiesce to that. If you're losing players due to this thing, then you have to they enlarge the practice squad. I guess they haven't touched or they spoken about enlarging the active roster in this situation, but perhaps there could be discussion about reformatting of the practice squad in a way, which, like I've often said, I don't agree with how the Saints use the practice squad. I think the practice squad should be used the way the Philadelphia Eagles used it when they would develop talent that's already on the team, but they could not keep them on the active roster, so they merely stashed them in that pocket. And when they slashed them in the pocket, when injuries occur, they just grab that player off the practice squad and put them on the active roster. I think that is the correct usage of it. The way we've been using it as of late has not been the case. We'll have guys we'll have several wide receivers on the practice squad, and then we'll go on the street to get a Krishawn Hogan who don't know a damn thing about none of the wide receiver duties and put them on the active roster, and you have Emmanuel Butler and LaJordan Humphrey and Mazel and Triquan. What's the kid name? Mazel, who's sitting on the practice squad, who've been through the camps and everything else. So it's strange how they tend to use it. I wish we would do better about that. But anyway, this is these discussions moving forward, and then we'll just have to maintain and watch how it goes. But it's mere speculation at this point because we hadn't seen anything like it. You can look at soccer and see how they're covering the front 8 or 9 rows with big giant plastic advertising banners and simulated crowd noise. So it's dry and it's lame, and that's why I think certain people are saying, listen, we want to still have a crowd effect to it where we don't have simulated crowd noise, which it doesn't rise or it lowers. It just stays the same. It's a fake plastic Hollywoodness feel to it. And it's something, but we'll see, man. And like Derek Lockett says, who that to you, Derek? He says he loves sports, but he don't want to see anybody getting harmed because of it in terms of the C-19. Well, I think that with the proposal to give players an opportunity to opt out if they're not feeling it, or if they're not feeling safe or they don't want to participate, I think that's a good idea, because then people won't feel like they forced to do something. They're making a decision to say, listen, this is my livelihood, regardless of whatever it is. I'm gonna go through it, and I'm rocking with God. You know what I'm saying? I'm going through this, and I'm gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people have that mentality as well. Who that to you, King Creole the first? Good to see you in the live stream, family. Good to see you chiming in. Much love to you as well. Tro Blew It. What up, Tro? Good to see you in the chat. Abraham. Who that to my dog, Abraham, chiming in from Sacramento, baby. But yeah, that is true. No doubt about it, Byron. And we're just gonna have to see, my man. Any last thoughts, bro, before we go to the next call?
Yeah. Well, all I just say, I know that it's gonna be a tough, for guys, gonna make the roster and everything, since we got it to 80 instead of 90. But I think it's gonna be a lot of open, spots that somebody's gonna make this team though. Once, like I say, when training camp arrives and everything, but it's gonna be a tough decision who's gonna make this team or not. You know what I'm saying? From undrafted players, more than anywhere particularly, in between. But I think that the Warriors, that we know that we got a good team, though. I'm so excited that we're going to have football for the season and everything. I'm ready for this thing to begin. I'm ready to get it started. I just think that, we're just so excited to have fans that's going to be, going to the game and everything. And I think that we honor for that. And I think that everybody just protect yourself, be safe out there, and do the right thing when they tell you to do it, and follow instructions, and just don't mess things up. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that, I'm looking forward to the football, starting. I'm ready to get this thing going. And I hope that, like I said, anywhere, if like I said, if the player's gonna opt out their contract, like Michael Jenkins just meant about, if he opts out his contract and everything, that's up to him and everything. But if he don't, then I hope he play and everything this season. I hope that he be out there with the team and everything, and get ready to get it started and get it ready going. So that's my last thought on that, though, Q. So I just want to tell you that, and like I said, I'm just ready, for football to begin.
Well, I agree with you every bit of that, and I'm ready for it too, and it's coming. They got to get the particulars out of the way, but I think everything will be on point. And we're going to have some football momentarily, just like we're going to have some basketball and baseball. So things are getting underway again. And we just have to say prayers for the people, ourselves included, and the whole mix that, everything works out fine, and that we whip this as a human family, like we did several other inclinations of things similar to this. We whip it as well. So thank you big time for chiming in, Byron, and much love to your family. Who that to you, and be safe out there, bro.
Same you too, bro. Who that to your family. Be safe too, bro.
Who that? That's Byron, man. Appreciate Byron chiming in on the live line, 504-475-4482. Appreciate you, Byron, for dropping and showing some knowledge with the family members. Much love to you and Yearn, my man. Appreciate that. Your thoughts and sentiment on that. And clearly enough, a lot of the family members are starting to realize that sports is going to look different. It's going to look different, and it's a part of it. We're still going to be able to enjoy a lot of this, but it's definitely going to look different. And we'll see, man. This is what life is supposed to be now. So we'll monitor to keep it going on. The live line is active, family. 504-475-4482. DeWright, my dog DeWright, chiming in from Orlando. What up, family? Good to see you in the chat. Much love to you, cuz. Good to see you. I see you, family. I see you. Who that to you? Yes, sir. 504-475-4482. Live lines are open for the family members. Timothy, who that to you? Timothy Dillon, chiming in as well. Much love to you, Tim. I see your family. Appreciate the chime in. Please hit the like button, family. Please hit the like button. If you're in the chat, we are almost an hour and a half into this thing. We're pretty good into this thing, almost an hour and a half. We into the show today on Saints Talk Wednesday. We cover some news items of the day as well. For those who's just popping in the live stream, we cover quite a few things. We talked about, of course, Malcolm Jenkins, his comment on the President Trump. He mentioned that as well. We know Malcolm in the middle on some stuff. He's going to be in the middle as he contributes for CNN. And I'm just, we know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world that you might agree with, but hopefully, I just don't know, man. Hopefully this didn't become an issue. Saints rookie guide ranking roster locks and long shots. We covered that. The NFL proposes dropping the roster to 80 players. We also talked about and covered the fans required to wear face coverings in 2020, a mandatory thing that people have to wear for the upcoming season. So that's a part of it as well. We also played an hour and 47-second interview. A minute and 47-second interview from All-Star, All-Pro defensive end Cam Jordan's thoughts on the team moving ahead. Really interested to hear what Cam had to say about the upcoming team. He had a lot of high praise for Jameis Winston, Zach Bowen. He talked about several young players and additions, saying, why would I not think that this is a Super Bowl team? He didn't actually say that verbatim, but I am just paraphrasing. the fact that Cam does feel like this team is definitely a team that's near the Super Bowl. We've been saying that for the last several seasons. And the only team kicking themselves in the butt is the Saints. We have to get out of our own way, no doubt about it. 504-475-4482, live lines open, family. Feel free to call in 504-475-4482. The live lines are open. Live line is open. So you can feel free to chime in just like Byron did and spit your game. Any questions, concerns, or comments pertaining to the Saints team as we draw ever so close to the season getting underway? Of course, we talked about the fact that the NFLPA did win 0 preseason games. The league wanted 2, then they dropped it to 1, and then at the last moment they agreed with the NFL union and said no preseason games. So that was a win by the Players Association as well. Thank you for calling the live stream, family. Who's on the line?
Hello, Q. Family, how y'all doing tonight?
What's up going on there, Brother Paul? How you feeling, my brother?
Oh, man, I'm making it. I'm just making it.
There you go. What's on your mind today there, Brother Paul? You've been hearing a lot of stuff been going on, Jenkins, and a lot of the going back and forth between the league and the NFL about proposals, dropping it from 90 to 80, according to so they can be able to deal with the social distancing rules. They're retrofitting the facilities. They're thinking about adding trailers in there as well to keep people separated. Of course, the mandatory wearing of masks by fans. Of course, players are already mandatory to wear them in facilities. And of course, still a lot of stuff to be decided by the NFL brain trust before ultimately camp starts. What's your philosophy? What's your thinking on some of the stuff that's been going on?
Well, VQ, I like to always start up at the top. Roger Goodell is tipping toe like a cat on cotton because he's scared he don't want no lawsuits. Now, I'm just going to talk and just call a spade a spade. That's why they're doing all that, Q. They don't want nobody, little old me or you, get out there catching no corona at the game and go to the hospital. They find out and prove that's where we got it from. He don't want nobody suing nobody. That's one of the things. So now all this talk about health and safety and all that. That's okay. But I'm thinking it's more about EMONEYQ that you always tell us. Follow the money.
Yep.
They talking all this yabba yabba yabba. Listen, Q. I said in the chat, I ain't coming to those face-off games because I don't want to sit up in there with no mask on like a fool because ain't nobody never been through this. We don't know how. Because Q, they're going to have somebody there, some people there monitoring that. I'm sitting here, it's a guy how I took my mask off. I feel a tap on my shoulder. Sir, you need to put on your mask. Man, I can't breathe. I can't do this. But, sir, you're going to have to leave. Well, they're like, I'm going to have to get out of here then.
Mm-hmm.
And see, ain't nobody talking about that kind of stuff, Q. What you gonna do about your little babies? What about them going to the restroom? All the concession stand. How they gonna do all that, Q? See, they ain't telling the fans enough, giving us enough info, and that's making me wonder and question about a lot of things. How you feel about it, Q?
Brother Paul, that's great and valid points, man. And
it works, Q.
That's valid points. I got to give it to you, Brother Paul. I mean, the concession stand is a great point. How would they handle it? How is that going to go? The bathroom situation, how is that going to go? You're absolutely right. So it's a lot yet to be determined on that. And I think they'll probably hash that out in the next 4 or 5 days to get that all settled. But whatever they feel they got to do, like they'll follow the same stances like you do in your local grocery store. When Dixie just mandatory, send a statement out that all, a lot of people weren't wearing their masks. A lot of people are not buying that narrative. They're not wearing their masks, but now to shop in most grocery stores, you got to put on a mask now, or you can't come into the store. So a lot of people are doing that. So I'm expecting the same way that grocery stores and gas stations and other volume business that have people coming in and out of the establishment. I think that the Saints, the Superdome, are handling the same way by keeping people separated. Like when you go into the grocery store and you have little things on the floor where you're supposed to stand on to keep a certain amount of feet from the next person in front of you. They issue out hand wipes or alcohol wipes to wipe down the basket that you're taking or whatever you're touching. So they're doing that. They're constantly saying to keep your hand sanitizer in place. So it's several things that most of the local businesses are doing that I anticipate that the Superdome could just use as well.
What's this what I'm talking about, Q? The NFL's what? A billion plus business every year.
Mm-hmm.
How come they can't furnish some man? How come they can't furnish some sanitizer to the fan? The fans already pinched enough pins about even high end tickets anyway.
You're right, and you said it. The money is something. Who that to you, chemo? But that you're absolutely right, brother Paul.
Aggravates me, you know.
Yeah.
I don't mean to cut you off, but that's just really aggravating me. I mean, did you think about all the safe the kids and stuff? You ain't gonna be able to go take your child to the game just cause you feel like it on Sunday. Q, you gotta think about that thing, huh?
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
It just like you said, Q. It ain't gonna be the same. It ain't gonna be this. Q, we might be going through this next season, so this ain't finna go nowhere no time soon. Because guess what? Somebody benefiting from this being the way it is. They can say what they want to say.
Always the case. It's always the case, and I think that's always the case. And people don't. They're thinking that we've been taught to believe in phantoms and apparitions. I mean, you people thinking that inflation is something that just naturally happens. No, that's something controlled by somebody. If you got somebody that's controlling the money supply, they create scarcity. That's the whole economy is driven on how scarce items are to get. The more scarce the item is, the more money they make. You know, that's just artificial.
Q, I wish I'd have 2-3 years ago. I wish I'd have went into the face mask and the medical supply business with you, Q. Me and you be me and in there. We could buy some of the things. We go in there and tell Miss Benson, hey, how much stock you want to sell? How much you got? I got about 5 million. What you got, Q? About 8. Let's do this.
Yeah.
We could be sitting up in the owner's suite. Hey, we part owners. We bought this thing. What you talking about?
Yeah, brother
Think
Paul,
about
you're right.
the people that made money off the sanitizer, toilet tissue, bleach. You can't even find Lysol. You can't even find off-brand stuff.
Right.
Lord of mercy.
Right. Yep. Yeah, but you're right. And a part of that, like to talk about what you mentioned about the NFL, is the fact that they'll definitely, if you go to the games, they'll definitely tell the fans who go into the games to sign a liability waiver. So if anything happens, they can't end up suing the NFL. That's definitely a part of it that most people will do. So I mean, they're not going to jeopardize, or run the risk of losing any money. They're going to always do what they've been doing, is placing the liability of safety upon you. That's what they do.
You better know it. But like I say, you catch the corona, God forbid. Roger Goodell ain't gonna pay your doctor bill. That's all the Saints family. He ain't gonna pay your doctor bill.
Right.
You can forget it. And they got enough lawyers to fight all that, even if something do come up.
No doubt.
And see, Motormouth Jenkins, that's what I'm gonna call him here on now. Motormouth Jenkins, cause every time you look around that mouth running, and half the time he ain't saying nothing worth listening to. Q, you just can't be just saying off the cuff stuff. Now we already learned that. You just can't say anything and put it out there and think it's gonna be all right. What do you think about what they're saying, man?
Yeah, this world is a lot more sensitive than I remember. This is a sensitive world, and it's sad because if we don't know half the stuff that we need to know. So we can be able to kind of get what we need to be going. So like I said, I've always said that it's a construct. I've often said that. And I truly think that the best way to enjoy anything is to enjoy it commonsensically with your logic centers on. You gain so much more than that as opposed to detaching from reality. The game we seeing now is definitely they're at control of it. They're at control. They're going to run their games. They're not going to incur any liability. They're going to write the laws. Not only do they have the lawyers, but they got the politicians paid off to enforce them. So I mean, they got it covered, and you definitely operating against a machine in that perspective. But like I said, I think that if anything was to occur, where they allow 15 or 20, whatever it is, 1,000 people into the dome, it's hard to me for them to see as true capitalists, them not performing or providing beer or concessions in there. They're going to still collect parking revenue. They're going to still sell you clothes. They're going to still sell you food. The guys that's be preparing the food going to wear masks.
Ain't gonna be no discount on that.
No.
They need to know that.
No.
You better tell them.
No, they're gonna
No
still
discount on that.
they're gonna still
Right.
do it. That's why it's a portion of them want the fan base in there, and it's going to be a part of it when they sell you the tickets. It's going to be mentioned probably on the ticket or the paperwork that you have to sign this, or this is a buying this is understands that this is a waiver of liability, that you enjoy the game at your own risk, and it's what it is.
That's
Man.
true. Because guess what? If they checking the vendor's temperature and they use sanitizer every time they going in and out their dome, and not just the dome, all the stadiums around the league. You can't check it. You can't police everybody, Q. Somebody gonna slip through the cracks. What about the people cleaning the bathroom? You checked his temperature today? You know, it's just you're gonna have to hire people, Q, to do that. You know, it's like you're gonna have to hire a monitor to monitor the monitor. You know, it's gonna get, if you don't manage it right, you know, the watcher gonna have somebody watching him, and somebody gonna be watching him. You know how it works, Q.
Yeah. Now you know you're right. You're absolutely right, brother Paul. I mean, that's a part of it that we're just gonna have to see that most, not only just the Saints, but pretty much the rest of the league, who's deciding to do that, is gonna have to deal with. And of course, the loss. If you say, okay, well, they're gonna lose money, they never lose money. Even with the loss that they're gonna take from they're not going to make the hundreds of millions of dollars per Sunday that they would make if you had a full season, a full bunch of people in the dome. They're still going to apply for government aid to make up the loss of revenue that they don't have. So see, people don't look at that. They just look at sports, and if you don't handle the business first, there's no sports without the business getting taken care of first.
Right.
The business come before the athletes on the field, because the business represents the paperwork side. There's no sports without the paperwork getting done, and that's what that's what I'm pushing. That's why I have these shows. We talk about this stuff because it's more than just talking about players and personnel. There's a game behind the game, and I like talking about the game behind the game because it gives you a full perspective, 360 to 720 degrees around what you're looking at, so you can be able to understand it, overstand it, and understand it in a way where it'd be more empowering. So
that's true, Q. But yeah, man, like I say, man, it's just like I said, I thank God I was blessed that I was treated to two Saints games way back in '95. The first one I saw, they played Seattle, old Doug Nussmeier running all over the dome. And then the last one was in Atlanta with Bobby and Ironhead and all that. And that was so special. And I haven't been to a game since, Q, for the simple fact is that, listen, the game's supposed to be for the fans. When you take the fun out of it and all this other stuff and this, you go turn a lot of people off. And the last people you want to turn off is your season ticket holder. You know, if anybody ought to be in there watching the game and have the pleasure and the relaxation, it should be them. You know, just people that, you know, like me, just buy, a game ticket every now and then, you know, we shouldn't be tripping. You know, but take care of your fan base. Take care of the people that put the money in your pocket now. They ought to come first. What you think?
I mean, you're making great points, and that's a part of it, you know, and they're going to do everything that they're supposed to do. They're going to, you know, sign the documents to make sure they're not held liable if something goes wrong. But, you know, it's just a part of the matrix. You enjoy football, and if people do decide to go to the dome and they drink beer and all kind of stuff, then you enjoy it. You enjoy it at your own risk. But that's nothing new. They were doing that already. They've been doing that. That's been listed on the paperwork when they sell it to you, that you enjoy at your own risk. They're not liable if somebody bang up your car in the parking lot. Right. If you fall down the stairs in there, you're not liable for that. If somebody bang up your damn car in the parking garage, they tell you we're not liable. Somebody break in there and steal your cell phone, we're not held liable for that. They've been telling you that, so that's not new.
They broke in your car, really? They don't know. Okay,
I'm suing the Saints. Okay. I'm suing the Saints because you don't see that sign over there.
Man.
Right. We're not. That's on you. So I mean, but that's something that they've always done, though, brother Paul. They always pass the risk on to you. That's just how the thing designed. But hold on for a
Well,
second, brother Paul. Hold on for a second.
Uh-huh.
Hold on a quick second. We got another call on the line. Just hold on, my
Okay.
friend. 985J, who that to you? Good to see you in the live stream. Verlin, who that to you? Verlin, chiming in. Caution, good to see your family as well. Chiming in. 985J in the building. Good to see 985J chiming in as well. All right, family, thank you for calling the Sports Coma. Who's on the line?
Trail, man. How you doing, man?
What up, Trail? How you doing, fam?
I'm doing great, man. I can't complain. Up here in this Atlanta heat right now, I tell you that.
Damn. I know, bro. It's pretty hot down here, bro. But I tell you what, Trail, just hold on for a second, my brother, and mute your phone. We got Brother Paul just ahead of you. And as soon as he get done, bro, we'll bring you right on in now.
Okay.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. All right, Brother Paul, coming back to you, my friend.
Oh, yeah, man, I just like the way you have stuff flow at Q. I mean, you try to be very professional, and I so appreciate
I got to represent the Great Saint Think Tank, Brother Paul. Got to represent. I can't be shabby with it.
You can't. You got to do this, bro. I mean, Stephen A. Smith need to come take support for you. Yeah, I said it was me. That's right. They're receding hairline and looking at go out. I'm going to leave him alone. I'm going to leave him alone tonight. But you know what? I feel like throat cutter. I still ain't ride with Drew Brees, and back of Jesus is getting on my nerve with that mouth. You know what? I hope he played like he run his mouth. I need about 10 interceptions, 3 or 4 sacks, and I need a Pro Bowl out of him this year. Since you won't talk so much.
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm Jenkins
got to step up this year.
Get the Williams boys to play and get Patrick Robinson to do something back there. Since you won't talk so much. Ali talk cute, but he said I'm gonna knock you out in the 3rd round. And Mike Tyson used to talk too. You know what? They went out and did it.
Backed it up.
Talk, but they can't back it up. Joe Namath said we gonna beat Baltimore. In fact, I guarantee it. He went out there and did everything he could to make it happen. Okay, so it's just one of them type of things. Q. People can talk the talk, but they can't walk the walk, and I don't like that. They paying you all this money. You ought at least show up. At least show up and do something.
Well, we got 2 sets of brothers on the secondary. It's weird. We got the Williams boys and the Jenkins boys. So the Jenkins boys got to step up big time, and so did the Williams boys. So they got to make it happen.
Well, I hope it don't be like Amos and Andy and Catfish.
I hope
get it together back there. Well, Q, like I said, it's gonna be interesting. Ooh, I can't wait to see how this go all shake out. It's really gonna be interesting. But like I said, my thing is right off the bat, beat Tampa Bay. If you don't beat Tampa Bay, I ain't gonna be no happy camper because you can't. A big game straight off. You can't be coming in there messing up and dragging. You got to do it, Q.
Right.
That's still a big game right off the bat for me. I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah,
you got to take Tom Brady down. Take him down hard, baby.
The team can't focus on the surroundings as tough as it is. They got to focus on the football on the field, and it'll be a tough situation. But you're making millions of dollars to do it. They got people that's making less than a quarter of what you're making. That's out here doing the same thing, risking it. So I mean, they're not doing no more than what we doing. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, so we just have to just put up, just keep doing what we're doing. We gotta stay prayed up, pray for people around you, and have that regimen, man. When you taking them supplements, I'm telling you, that's a big thing.
Yeah,
drinking
man.
that water and eating them supplements.
Drinking that Welch's grape juice, that's got some good poppers and stuff. You gotta take care of yourself. You ain't nobody else can take care of you like you can.
Right. That's right.
But that's all, Q. I'm gonna be hollering at you later on. But y'all take it easy and be safe, and look out for each other, man. Cause we all we got, man.
That's right, brother. That's right, brother.
All right, now, be blessed now.
Appreciate you. Same to you, my brother. Who that to you? That's our great historian, Brother Paul, chiming in. Trail, you still on line, my friend?
Yes, sir, brother.
All right, Trail, come on in, my brother. That was Brother Paul ahead of you. Appreciate the brother dropping some knowledge. Trail, you heard some of the topics we was talking, bro. What's on your mind on tonight?
I'd be one of them thinkers, like one of them old crazy thinkers. So some people might not even agree with me, but sometimes I be thinking too far might be out of the box. My take with this thing going on with the league, I be looking at it sometimes as I look at it, players be trying to have excuses to blame something on somebody. And when I say that, it's like you can see them same guys now at parties, on the beaches, and the smaller NV clubs. They not thinking about no social distance or their safeties at all. But soon as you see them cameras get to rolling and it's talking about a league, all of a sudden y'all crying about, well, we worry about our safety. What this don't work. I'm like, but man, I just seen y'all 2 days ago posting on the beach, running around in your boxes. You weren't thinking about that. Or when you was at these little parties, you weren't thinking like all that. But then when it's time to go to work, y'all coming with all these excuses about safety now. It's a safety this or it's a safety that, or the NFL don't care about me like this, or the NBA don't care about me like that. To me, it's just like all these, and forgive me, because I got family members that's doing it too, and I work. But it's just like these people that's on unemployment or whatever you may call it, and some of them really lost their jobs. But when it's time to go to work, everybody got excuses. And to me, it seems like with the players, they coming up with a lot of excuses about safety. And you seen during this whole pandemic, what none of them standings. Now I'm not talking about like your a la LeBron James and Anthony Davis, because you quite seen what they was doing. But all these other guys, you seen these guys out when they had all these protests and marches going on. And I'm with that too. But you seen them in the midst of thousands of people out there. You seen a lot of them people not wearing masks. And y'all wasn't worrying about safety then. And like I say, I think outside of the box. I don't lock arms step by step with everybody when I think something ain't right. And I look at this and I see this when I see Malcolm Jenkins. I'm like, man, why you weren't taking that Boring horn and out there trying to stop your people when they was out there having these big old block parties in Philadelphia? Why you wasn't preventing that stuff? You know, why you wouldn't? And now all of a sudden when the NFL get ready to start, you talking about this and this and this, and we talking about, hey, I'm worrying about the safety of. Well, look, nah. To me, if you was worried about that, we should have been really practicing social distancing before any sports was talking about being kicked out. And maybe then the league officers and all of them, they would look at that at a different light and say, you know what? We're just going to suspend the season. We're not going to even try to play. But I think by them seeing how these guys reacting on social media and seeing them out in public and they not concerned about that, I think that's why a lot of these league office people saying, well, yeah, it's about the money. We know it's about the money. But, hey, let's try to play anyway. They don't care anyway about themselves, so let's try to play. I mean, maybe that's just me, Q, thinking outside of the box it is. But I don't think it's all – I know it's about the money. But some of this stuff, too, it could have been like on a different level, if you understand what I'm really trying to get out. I think a lot of these players have to really look at themselves and say, hey, if you say they don't care about us, it's because they was watching what y'all was doing anyway in the pandemic. You see what I'm saying? If you really get where I'm going with this conversation.
Mm-hmm. I got you. I understand. I think a lot of the you definitely have opportunists out there, and no doubt about it. I definitely can see that. And it's the climate is ripe with a lot of opportunities. You didn't see most of these guys at all until at this certain period of time, which is question mark, where the hell you came from, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to kind of keep that in the back of the mind. And I advocate out of the box thinkers, because I think out of the box thinkers are the people that will help liberate a lot of the box thinkers. I think that's the problem with a lot of people, that, there's a comfortability, there's a familiarity to stay into a certain spot, which I think is, that's pretty, I just don't advocate for that. I think that you should try to learn as much as you can learn while you're here before you transition to a higher form of life. That's what the pursuit of it, the people say, well, what's the meaning of life? Like, that's a deep question. That's not a deep question. The meaning of life is the pursuit of perfection. And you were given examples of perfection according to the Christian faith. It was Jesus, to be error, to not have error or character flaws that present you. But you never reach perfection. But it's obviously the fact that you're constantly pursuing it until you transition. It speaks about the travel that every human has to go to perfect its being. Most of us, we weren't born perfect. We were born with character issues and character flaws in our character that we have to fix. And that's what life is about, ironing out those character wrinkles and becoming the best that you could be. That's what it comes, regardless of whatever obstacles that you are dealing with in your experience. You're supposed to be able to overcome those character issues within a self and then move on to a higher lifestyle. And a lot of successful people on this planet have figured that out, and they're living by that mentality. So, I mean, I just think that, you know, if you want to really know how things work, it's not a bad thing. It's only empowering. And, you know, once you learn it, then you can be able to then elevate yourself as well as those around you to a higher state of existence. You know, so that's why I advocate. So I'm definitely an advocate of out of the box thinkers. I think some of our greatest people, inventors, invented things that have helped improve life for us all. You know, an out of bounds thinker in a hot day, like you was talking about ATL, it being hot as hell. You know, everybody right now need to thank the guy that invented air conditioning right now. Go online and shoot out. Thank the man, whoever the man was who invented air conditioning many years ago. Because when you go in that house and sit down and drink that cold beer under that air conditioner, you be like, man, it's a blessing. But that was an out of the box thinker that came up with the air conditioning. And I made fun of that before. Y'all remember some time ago, I did a show where I was saying, I kind of had an example where the air conditioning inventor was talking to his buddy and telling him, man, look, I got an idea. I'm going to create this thing where you could be able to turn the air cold or hot in your house. And then his buddy sitting up there looking at him like he need to have him committed. But see, this is the thing. The guy that created the cell phone, the guy that created the washing machine, the dryers, the dishwasher, the car, you know, these inventions, these weren't in the box thinkers, or the guy that decided to create electricity and put it in the house, when a lot of people in the box thinkers would have been like, man, you crazy. You're going to try to set the house on fire, try to put that mess up in here. It's more and more examples of so I definitely advocate for out of the box thinkers, man. They made our life better for the out of box thinkers and for the box thinkers. You know, it's just what it is.
And that's just the only thing I was just on, because even when I was like with Michael Jenkins, I mean, man, I'm so getting tired of him. Now I'm almost to the point I'm ready, like, hey, man, let's just get rid of him. Like, because it's a lot of stuff that we could just, you know, we could just, and I want to stick to the sports topic of it. But it's a lot of things I think a lot of the players can do. They don't need to be babysit on what to do and what not to do. You know, man, listen, you know you're getting paid millions of dollars, while a lot of us sitting over here trying to wonder if $15 enough for us to pay rent. But you know what you got to do. Like, you have a family, so I shouldn't have to babysit you. The league shouldn't have to babysit you on what's right and what's wrong. And like you said earlier about the character flaws, we see how ABB, like, you know, how he got a big character issues going on. Some of them, they had that character flaw, but man, it's not 1 + 2 when you really just think about it. Your life is on the line, and you know how serious this virus is supposed to be. Man, you know what you got to do. You know, you shouldn't have, the league shouldn't have to come down and do this for players to get it. Like, you're supposed to get it. Like, if you don't want to play, then we shouldn't play. If you're going to play, then let's play. But all the other stuff that's coming with it, the crying and trying to advocate this and advocate, man, let's just get away with all that, because what you're doing is you got the fans back here. You got 50% want them to play, 50% over there like they don't really care. They want to play, but they really don't care. But to me, it's like, if you're going to take this virus thing serious, I think you should just suspend the season. Like, this year, suspend all the sports season. And do I want that? No, I want some football. But I think for the people outside of sports to get it, I think you're going to have to make some type of drastic judgment for this. Other than that, like I said, I ain't trying to get too deep out the box. But other than that, how serious would the civilians take this virus thing if the sports and all this other entertainment stuff still going on? We're not going to take, because in Georgia right now, it's really kind of serious up here. But they're not taking it serious. You know, I've seen plenty of basketball players, Atlanta Hawks players, like right out here with us, like in the malls and all, chilling. No mask on, no nothing. So that's just my take on it, though. You know, it's just my take on it.
Well, Terrell, that's true. It's a different process of thinking with most people. Like I said, it's not uniform. You know, everybody have their thought process on what it is, and some it's across the board, and it should be that way, because we all at different areas, and I just appreciate the fact that we have different philosophies and different insights on it, because with those insights we can be able to get more information or learn more about what's going on out here. So, but that's definitely something that we need to look at. But before you leave, let me ask you this question here. Give me a second. We got another call on the line. Thanks for calling the Great Saint Think Tank family. Who on the line?
Well, what's up, Q? This your boy, Bell.
What up, Bell? What's going on, baby?
What's up with you, man? Nothing. You on YouTube right now? I say, let me get Q a call. Betty on YouTube.
I am on YouTube, my brother. But look, I'm gonna
what's up with you? What up, Saints Think Tank?
I'm good, my brother. Glad to have you on the show tonight, my man. Give me just a second. We got Trail Hatch right ahead of you, bro. As soon as Trail get done, then I'm gonna bring you right on in there, my brother. So just hold on.
For sure.
Thank you. All right, Trail, and I'm gonna propose this one to you. And after you hang up, I'm gonna let Bear answer that one about Malcolm Jenkins. Malcolm Jenkins said some time ago, because you did, and you brought up some interesting points on Jenkins about what he's saying about this, that, and the third. He said several interesting things since he became a Saint. One of the biggest things he said, he started it off, which with the Drew Brees situation. He hadn't shut up since. He's taken a CNN job. So it was different. You remember, he got the CNN job with the Saints. He signed a contract with the Saints. Then he had the stuff with Drew Brees happen. Then shortly thereafter, Malcolm Jenkins had a job on CNN. And that's why you're hearing these different things from him. He said on CNN some time ago about not feeling safe about the upcoming season and that football is non-essential. Now, I raised that point because it was interesting to have a football player who made millions of dollars playing the children's game, number one, who was advocating and telling people that football was non-essential to cut off football, which he's a football player. But let me ask you this. What do you think about Jenkins saying that football, not just football is non-essential? I don't care about that. But the fact that when you look at the fact that the NFL is proposing an opt-out clause, what is your thought process on the opt-out clause in Jenkins' statement about not feeling safe playing football?
To me, the whole thing to me with him is that he made his money. He basically made his money. And I think the only reason why that statement come out, just to answer that question, is because he paid already. Mm-hmm. I don't think he said that if he wasn't paid. I think if it was a second or third year in the league, he's not talking like that at all. So for you to say that is only to say that now because you have made your money, so you can afford to sit back and talk your noise and talk, and then you just got a contract deal with, like you said, with CNN, so you can afford to do that. I don't think he make that same statement if he's a second year or third year player in the league. There's no way he make that, because they don't make that kind of money, not the first couple of years in the league. Not if you got to take care of your family, then your mom, your mom, your dad, or your sister, or your sibling. I don't think you make that type of statement. I mean, a lot of them players don't get secure NFL-wise, so they that real contract comes. That's why it's so important for them to try to hold out or whatever they go do, because they want to make that guaranteed money. Mm-hmm. And I think if he would have said that back then I'm kind of like, okay, Malcolm, okay, I see where you going with this. You really, but because you done made your money all right, to me, that's non-existent to me what he said about that. It's like, to me, if I'm the Saints, I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm the Saints, I just cut him loose. I cut my ties with him now. Because it seems like he's going to be a problem with him. It really seems like he done started getting a little too big-headed. He done got a little too besides himself. You done seen Eric Reed them that kind of already done made it look like you all about the spotlight and the dollar, and you ain't really about this not from the heart from you. So with me saying this, I don't think the Malcolm Jenkins, the first 2 years we had, that he would have made that same statement. No, I don't believe that.
Right.
I believe what he's saying now is he can say that because he got his money. He's good. He done got his 2 Super Bowl rings. Hey, what else do I really need to play for? And I believe that's where that came from. I don't believe he'd have said this if it was his second year in the league, or even third year. I don't believe he would have said the same. Because you didn't hear any other players really come out and say that. And, I mean, that's just my take on it. That's just my opinion on that part with Malcolm Jenkins. I just know as a Saints fan, and he's one of my favorite players. I'm kind of tired of him already. And the season even started, I'm kind of tired of him.
All right, Trell, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for answering that, man. Thank you, bro.
Who that, brother?
Thank you, bro. You be safe out there at ATL, bro.
Okay.
All right, Trell.
Peace, brother. All right, Bell, what's up, baby? How you doing, my brother? Same question to you, my friend. How do you feel about that? The situation with Jenkins, saying about the fact that he didn't feel safe. Now there's a proposed opt out. We covered a story today on the show about he made a comment in contrast of what the president said today about kneeling and such like that. Like I said, it's people, we have to understand as people, you will never be able to get people to totally acquiesce to everything you're doing. You're not going to get, even your family members. I got family members that are my blood that don't agree with everything I say, and that's fine. I'm not expecting you to believe in everything I'm saying. I'm good with you having your own opinion. You know, I'm fine with that.
Everybody got their own opinion, though. But look, you got to forgive me for this. I don't really know what Malcolm Jenkins said. Like, when I started watching your show, I heard that y'all covered what Malcolm Jenkins said, and I heard what you said about the safety, about the player safety stuff earlier ago. But I don't know, what did he do today? Can you explain to me what he said today?
Well, Jenkins was talking about, just you replied to what Trump said today about if he's seeing kneeling, somebody kneeling for the national anthem. He done watching football, and I made the thing. I said, I didn't know he was such a big football fan. I didn't know he liked football like that. But Jenkins was just saying that he knows what it's about, that he knows that the protest wasn't about kneeling, that it was about something else. And that's basically what he was saying. Now, he's saying this stuff because he got a part-time gig with CNN as a social contributor. So you're going to hear a lot of this type of stuff from Malcolm Jenkins over the next several months or so.
Well, first of all, when I think about Malcolm Jenkins as a Saints fan, I love him. I'm just like Sean Payton. I hated to see him go, but Sean Payton let the man go. It's all his fault anyway. But a lot of people say they're tired of him saying what he got to say, but I'm the type of person, I don't like him saying it either, but I believe everybody got an opinion, so he could say what he wants. And it's not like he's saying a lie. You see what I'm saying? It's just once people start saying stuff, everybody going to look at you crazy. You can't say nothing nowadays without somebody looking at you crazy. But I take the point of view of, well, that's the man's opinion, and it's the truth. The president intentionally used that issue as like a patriotism type issue when he knows what the real issue is about. You know what I'm saying? And they do it on purpose. It's all on purpose too. It's not like it's a mistake. They know it and they do it on purpose. So it's not like he said a lie or anything. It's just people don't like, when you actually speak up about this type of stuff. And, everybody gonna have their opinion about it. Now, I don't like the fact that, the way he's going about doing it, like with the CNN deal and the Saints deal going on, which I don't follow him for, because I feel like, you got to get your money however you get your money. And because the NFL wouldn't care what he do, you know what I'm saying? They wouldn't care what they do if it hurt him or not. So just like they'll get their money at all costs, he getting his money at all costs. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But anybody with a bold opinion, people gonna look at him kind of crazy. But one thing I am glad about having Malcolm Jenkins back is because we play Tom Brady twice a year now. He will really help. He will really help against Tom Brady. Tom Brady really struggles against Malcolm Jenkins. He one of the few safeties. He one of the few that Tom Brady struggles against. He's a smart player. So yeah, he got his money. He's making comments, but I just feel like everybody got a comment. I want to see him put something on the field. Now, if he start playing bad, then I have a problem with him based off his performance. But like I said, people can say whatever they want to say, and I do not believe he's lying. And it's kind of, I ain't gonna talk about that issue. I don't want to get you banned from YouTube or nothing. But yeah, that's just my thought on Malcolm Jenkins' comment.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. What do you think about? Do you think he plays this upcoming season, or do you think he will opt out based on his comments?
Well, that's interesting to see. Now, all right, so I'm not going to really reveal my occupation, but I work and they're having conversations about this in general. It's not even NFL dealing with. I'm talking about at the governmental level and at the health and safety levels. Mm-hmm. They might not even have a season. Now, they still saying it's going on, and they've been saying everything was going on until it's canceled. But if they do go into a season, if a player wants to, you got to understand this too. The way it is if you have a lot of people in the building with this coronavirus, you can actually catch it. It can travel through the air conditioners and circulate in the area if you don't have that fresh air constantly coming in buildings and stuff. Like I said, I have a greenhouse, and it works kind of like the way you constantly circulate air. And we had to mandate people wearing masks today. Nobody like it. I don't even like wearing the mask. But I work around a lot of people, so they gotta have a mask on. But if he opts out this year, will he still get paid?
No.
No. Oh, well, he might not. But like you said, he got the CNN deal. He might just go ahead and take that and say forget the season. But if he leaves, it's not a big loss. Our secondary, is not. All he did was make them a bit better than me. They're not losing anything, and he won't get paid. So I just feel like that's his prerogative. I hate to see when good players walk away, like AB and Calvin Johnson. But they could do what they want to do. It's freedom. So I would hate not being able to see him on TV. But at the end of the day, like I said, he gonna do what's best for him, and people just gotta understand that. You gonna like it, some not. That's just what it is.
Well,
but I think he's gonna play. I don't think he's gonna sit this season out. I don't think he'll do it. What you think?
Well, I mean, it's he did bring it up. That's why I bring it. It's interesting. That a lot of people not talking. That's not so much about his issues. Absolutely right on his social issues. I mean, he has the right to say it. We live in America, not Russia or some place or China or somebody looking to shut you down for speaking your mind. So he can say what he want to say. I'm an advocate of that, and if he can say it, then anybody can say it as well.
Unless you say something about the Jewish people, you can't say nothing about them. But I ain't gonna go further into none of that on your channel.
Well, you could talk to the Jews, but you gotta understand how it go though, man. The Jewish people are a strong people, man, and they
definitely.
I've often said that I've studied a lot of different groups, and to me, what I love about the Jewish people is like my mentality is I'm not a guy that look at people in a way where I want to claw them and take them down or tear them. No, I look to learn from people. You understand? And if people see them as the beacon of business in the country, they worked hard. They were strategic. They were organized, regardless of how you feel about them. The reality is they're effective, they're potent, they're strong, and they're organized. And that's something that any people, anybody, any group, anywhere could learn, because the Most High know that most of the impoverished areas of this country, if they would take half of that work ethic, that organization, that mentality, that discipline, it would be 50 to 60% better off. Now, with that said, I'm gonna leave it alone. But in terms of the in this climate that we're under here, Jenkins is concerned, I just feel like, to me, I'm not sure about him opting out. Thank you, Crass. Appreciate the super chat, fam. I'm here to support the cause. Hit the like button. Thank you, Crass. My home and friend. Appreciate Crass chilling in California. Big shout out. Who that to you, Troy? Troy Thompson. Good to see your family in the chat as well. Much love to you. V1 Extent XLL. Who that to you too, family? Good to see you in the chat as well. Pelicans Nola. Much love to you as well. Devin. What up, Devin? Good to see Devin Frank in the building. Good to see you too. Home and chiming in from ATL as well. Haven't seen my dog Revolt in a while, man. What's up, Revolt? You might just be listening.
Who that been there? But look,
chilling. But go ahead, Beth. Go ahead.
Oh, look, I want to ask you about. So look, last time I watched your show, y'all had it was you, Fitz Vegas, and I keep forgetting the other. He do a real good show though. I keep forgetting his name. He do the Saints podcast.
TJ,
yeah. So it was y'all three on the show. And y'all talked about Camara. Now, that's the only section I watch. How I just watch it back and forth. I get a notification on my phone. I catch it. Mm-hmm. But now, this was the only person that thought that the Saints would let Camara go. Look, if I could talk to y'all at that moment, I would have let y'all know. I think the Saints are willing to let Camara walk, bro. I promise you. I don't think they'll pay Camara what he really wants and keep him, because Sean Payton really lets anybody walk. Look at Kenny Stills, and if Camara try to pull that receiver running back thing, it's gonna be just like Jimmy Graham ended. You look at all these people that came and went: Brandon Cooks, Vaccaro, all these other players, Jimmy Graham. The Saints, they know what they want. They know what they're willing to pay a certain player, and if it just won't work, they don't mind letting them go. So how much do you think they will actually put on Camara if you had to quantify with a guaranteed deal or just a contract deal? Well, how much would you quantify Camara as? Because honestly, I believe they'll let him go. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I believe they'll do it.
At one point I was with you on that, Bell. I was with you on that, but I think that passes. That part didn't pass. The Saints had an opportunity, several different opportunities. If they felt like they wanted to trade Kamara away, they could have done it prior to the draft. They could have replaced him in free agency. So I don't think Kamara, and you mentioned some really interesting and really good players. You mentioned Jimmy Graham, and Bush and Vaccaro and the rest of those guys. I think Alvin Kamara, at this junction, I think ultimately the Saints are going to pay him. And we know what that could potentially look like. I don't see him getting more money than Christian McCaffrey, and I don't see him getting less money than the big bull back from Tennessee, Derrick Henry. So I would say.
So you think he'll probably be with Henry somewhere?
No, I would say it's in between there. It's in between McCaffrey and Henry, somewhere in the middle there is where he get, but more close to McCaffrey than to Henry. But within that ceiling and that floor, the floor is Henry, the ceiling is McCaffrey. I don't think he gets more than McCaffrey, and I don't think he gets less than Henry is what I'm saying. But I ultimately think that the Saints are definitely going to sign Alvin Kamara. He represents so much of their offense. He's in his fourth. He's in their fourth season, and he's unlike any other player that they have had. You mentioned Reggie Bush and the fantastic things Reggie Bush did, but Kamara has Reggie. He's definitely different. He has the power that Bush didn't have, and I can see him coming up this year. I think what really hurt Coach Payton last year is the fact that he had in his mind that he was going to feature Kamara, like Dallas features Zeke. Not Dak Prescott. Yeah, Zeke Elliott. Zeke Elliott. Just like he does, that they feature Zeke out there, and they only put the second string back in there just to give him some whiffs of air.
I'm glad you said that. Because you know what? The thing about Kamara, what a lot of people don't realize that I think is that the less hits he takes, the better he is. Like the less you use Kamara, the less is more. You see what I'm saying? He's actually a good player. He's better the less you use him. You get more production out of him the less you actually use him. That's something I noticed out of Kamara.
I've noticed the same thing. That's why I was advocating. I was like, I don't think you should feature him. Like, so, okay, this is our feature back. In certain games when you know he got that, when you know that he can take off on a team, that's fine. But not come out the season saying, no, he's our feature back. I think that's a discredit to guys like to Murray, who should be in there for every short yardage play. I don't care if it's first and short, second and short, third and short, fourth and short. If you got a short play, that should be Latavius Murray territory. It should not be over Kamara. And if you want to put Kamara out there, he's versatile and flexible enough where you could put him at any position in the skill position set. You run, except for tight end, you can line him up, put him as a wide receiver. If you got to put him out there, you can line him up in the slot and still put Murray in there. I mean, it's just you have to open up your imagination. We don't have to always force feed Kamara the ball because there's different ways that you get Alvin Kamara the ball. You get him the ball as a wide receiver. There's different ways to utilize him. But I agree with that. I've seen that a while ago that if you don't abuse him, you get more out of him.
And so I'm gonna say this about Kamara too. I've always been a fan that the Saints need to move more towards the zone running game now, but they still do what they do. But I think they ought to use more of the zone running game, and also I think Kamara, you're right about the price range, but I think it'll be closer to if they did pay him. I think.
All right, Joe, you still on there? Uh-oh, we lost Joe's audio. He dropped. All right, Joe's billing up. He gonna give a call back, Joe, 504-475-4482. Live line, we lost Joe Bell. That might be him right there. All right, fam, thanks for calling. Is that you, Joe? Uh-oh.
Oh, no, this Bell. I better think got disconnected from me.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
But you got another.
Hold on here, Joe. Uh-oh. Looked like Joe got caught. It froze on him again. Okay, I had to reset it, Joe. It looked like it froze on you when you called back. It's okay. I reset him. Everything's fine now. Feel free to call back there, Joe, again. But yeah, it's interesting, man. But no, I definitely think Kamara gets paid. Who that to you, Spaghetti Pete? Thank you for joining the live stream. He says if it's Sproul playing this year, nah, Sproul retired, my friend. He finally retired. He's done. Thank you. And who that to Spaghetti Pete? Thank you. Here we go. All right, Bear, that's you again, bro.
Yeah, it's me. It's me.
All right,
Look,
yeah.
if you got another call, I'll hit you up at another time. I don't want to hold you up.
Nah, bro. Go ahead, finish your thought, my brother. Finish your thought.
Oh, yeah, I was just saying. I was thinking the Saints should move more towards the zone run game, and also they should use Deontay Harris a little more because he's a very good player. He can be very explosive for the Saints. I don't know if he would be used as a runner or a receiver, but they should use him more in the game.
Right. I think that's a great idea. And you're going to see a lot of those different mixtures on offense. The Saints are going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be fun watching this team, offensively speaking, in many different ways. And still a lot of questions left remaining as we get closer and closer to the season. You still have questions concerning whether or not some players are going to opt out, because I do think there might be a contingent of people that might opt out, and that'll present opportunities in the free agency. Why there's still the Jadeveon Clowney situation that's hanging in the season. See what the Saints are going to do. There are rumors circulating around the fact that the Saints could add a veteran defensive back to the fray. So it's a lot of stuff going on and interesting moves that could be made coming into the team. But as far as the Kamara thing, I think just to get back to you, I think he'll definitely get his money. Uncle Paulie believes that they'll franchise tag. I think that he'll get paid. I think the Saints are gonna pay him. I don't think they're gonna play with him like that. I think they'll pay him because they need him. Alvin Kamara. Just picture the Saints without Alvin Kamara. They'll still be able to win games, but just think about what Kamara brings to your team and the fact that you don't want to see him playing for your rival, because you know that's what's gonna happen. You piss him off and don't pay him, you know where the first place he's going to Atlanta. He going to Atlanta, Tampa Bay, or Carolina. Not Carolina because they got McCaffrey. But he gonna go to either Atlanta, and Atlanta need a back. They got Gurley on a 1-year deal, and or either one of them. And he'll go there, and then he'll eat your lunch 2 times a year, possibly in the playoffs too. So let's not play that game. Get him signed. He earned it. 3 times Pro Bowl, even though I put an asterisk on this year, being a Pro Bowler. But yet and still, he still got it. 3 times, 3 years, 3 Pro Bowls. Pay the damn man. Pay him.
For real, I'm hoping the Saints pay him, but I don't know, Q. I don't know. They don't let too many good ones go behind the same stuff. You heard they want a certain amount of money, and the Saints just not willing to pay them, even though they worked every penny of it. But I'm hoping they pay Kamara. I really am. Cross my fingers, hoping they pay him. But they also believe running backs don't last long. But Mark Ingram lasted a long time, and it took him a long time to warm up at the Saints. But Mark Ingram lasted a long, long time, and they still let him go. But that's just my hunch.
I don't know. I think Ingram, that was personal. They could have actually worked that out. I think it got down to it where it went besides business, because Ingram should never have left. That was one of those players that should have never left, and it was a bad deal because the Saints stuck with Ingram before he showed that he can actually know what he's doing. Because when he came out of Alabama with the Heisman, with his first 2 or 3 years here, he looked really terrible. He was hurt. He couldn't find the holes. It was a series of things that happened ultimately, but they were patient with him. He earned several contracts from the Saints. But Ingram is the type of player, much like Cam Jordan, who was his best friend on the team, should have been a lifetime Saint. That was a bad move by the administrators.
Exactly. But look, I wanna. Oh yeah. So the situation, you think Jameis Winston gonna last like at least 2-3 years, or you think he's gonna be in and out this year?
I think Winston sticks around like Teddy Bridgewater did. I'm gonna just keep it real with you. I think what he's looking for, what Jameis Winston is looking for, is with pretty much what Teddy Bridgewater earned. He's looking to repeat Teddy Bridgewater's feat, in which he was able to come on to the team. Remember, the Saints traded, what was it, a 4th round draft pick, I think it was, for Teddy Bridgewater? No, was it a third? No, a third. It was a 3rd round pick for Bridgewater to come here. And then when his contract ran out that same year, they signed him back to like a $7-8 million deal. with the promise of him being the heir apparent. Now, like Bentley Morrison mentioned on the show, he sprinkled some light on the show. He said that he just threw some good information in there. Big ups to you, Bentley. He said, yeah, Q, I think that Sean Payton seen Teddy and kind of seen that he was a little bit too conservative for what he wanted.
Yeah.
That which if people say, well, I don't know, Q, but no, listen, that's a great point, because you go from Teddy Bridgewater to Jameis Winston. That's two polarities. You see what I'm saying? Because you got a conservative quarterback in Bridgewater and a guy that's a total gunslinger in Jameis Winston. So they're two opposite perspectives.
And Jameis Winston just had LASIK eye surgery. People don't know how much that's going to help this dude. I had LASIK eye surgery when I was little, and you see so much better. You're not just throwing at an area, and he's getting coached up. That dude's got some goodness in him. And his best days are ahead of him. James Winston's best days are ahead of him. I hope he stays with the Saints, but you never know the way stuff goes.
No, but I have to get you out. This year he'll be here. Next year I think he'll be here, because if Drew retires, then of course he can come back with probably a $3-4 million or whatever it is deal for the following year, because he could see himself in a position to be able to take over the team. So, why would he leave? I mean, why would he leave a situation where you could be able to take on a high-powered offense like the Saints? I mean,
he gonna use them. He gonna use those weapons.
Right.
Drew Brees don't throw the ball deep. Michael Thomas is actually a deep threat. He really is. I promise. But,
I've said he has a deep gift. I've said that he got a sneaky gift.
You can't knock a man. You can't knock a man for living in his environment, bro. That's the team that got him. Breeze don't go deep, so he do what he can, and that's actually good. People try to knock the man all the time, but he does what he needs to do. If other receivers would do what he do, then they would get the same results, but they don't, because he's just better than him. A lot of people don't like Michael Thomas for some reason, bro, and I do not know why.
Because he's great, and most people, and Michael Thomas is not. He's unapologetic. He doesn't apologize. He speaks his mind. He stands on it, and he's confident. He's confident about what he does, and it's a different type of confidence when you just talking out your and then when you can actually get out there and prove it. So it's almost like it's a Muhammad Ali type of confidence, because he could talk the talk but walk the walk. And for those,
tell me this:
that's a big thing.
What would you rank him out of like the receivers right now? Like
on top
3,
on top, number one without a doubt. You could put out DeAndre. You could put DeAndre Hopkins out there all you want. And Hopkins got out there, and I was supposed to make a video about that, man. I was so busy at the time that Hopkins came out shortly thereafter. He had the beef with Devontae Parker from Miami.
I remember that.
Hopkins came out not too long and said that he considered himself. I was supposed to do a video, and I was just so busy at the time, it totally slipped past me. But even if you compare Mike Thomas's numbers to DeAndre Hopkins' numbers, just the first 3 years, because you can't do no more than that. But just the 3 years, he's really, he ain't blowing away Hopkins, but he's there. Julio Jones is great. Jones is there in the conversation, but Julio Jones is not a guy that's consistent. He's hurt all the time. You see what I'm saying? Michael Thomas is there, man, and Hopkins is special. Don't get me wrong, he ain't no slouch, and he's up there. But Michael Thomas is doing stuff that wide receivers didn't do in NFL history, man.
Michael Thomas scored the most receivers per game out of any receiver. I looked up the stat myself. I looked up all the receivers. I did it myself. I divided how many years they've been in the league by how many touchdowns they scored through their whole career. How many years they've been in the league? Michael Thomas scored 8 touchdowns a year. Julio Jones scored 6.33. I did that myself. And if you just look at the numbers, Michael Thomas is beasting all of these receivers. He's better than Julio Jones and DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins had Matt Schaub. Matt Schaub was not a snob, was not no chip off the block. And Watson is not bad either. So he had 2 good quarterbacks too, and he did nothing with them.
I still say he up there. If you talking about, it's always somebody up there. If you talking like Michael Jordan, you talking about rarefied air, and people say Michael Jordan was the greatest of his era, but right up under, you never talk about the guys that were great like Michael Jordan that was right up under him, that he took stuff away from. He took championships away from these guys. Without Jordan, you'd had I would severely doubt that Akeem Olajuwon's Houston team in the mid '90s would have won championships if Michael Jordan was retired then. There was a question saying, could if he have won championship, he would have took them championships away from Akeem Olajuwon. He stopped Reggie Miller from getting championship. He stopped Karl Malone. What I'm saying is that it's rarefied air of people like Dominique Wilkins, who was one of my favorite. Dominique Wilkins was fantastic. He was excellent. He never had the team behind him to compete, but you had great players like that was competing in that day. And he was the best of all of them. And it just goes to show you, when you're the greatest of the great, that's rarefied air. So Hopkins is definitely up there. Julio Jones is underneath those guys. But in my opinion, Mike Thomas doesn't miss games. Regardless if he has Drew or not, people like to say because he had Drew Brees. Imagine if Hopkins had Drew Brees, what the stats would have looked like. It'd have looked the same damn way. If it looked the same way. But you can't, he is what he is. He didn't chose where he got drafted. Shit, the Texans had an opportunity. The Texans had an opportunity to take Michael Thomas. They passed him up, just like several other dumbass teams did. So I mean, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. They don't hear all that. They don't hear all that dumb stuff. Because when you go where you go and you have success where you go, I don't care who it is or who throwing you the ball. If you're great, you're supposed to be great in no matter what environment you in. Don't make excuses for him.
Saying that he got Breeze, man.
That don't make a damn difference.
That's where he was born.
That don't make a difference.
Oh, that's your mama, that's your daddy.
Right, that's where I'm coming from. Right, listen. A lot of us come from really impoverished, bad areas, drug dealing, gunning, killing, all that. But were you a product of the environment so much like MC8 used to say back in the day? This old school MC8 used to say that the hood done took them under. Ain't no hood done took nobody under. If you're strong and you come from that environment, you know that you can break out the gravity of that environment to go to astronomical heights, regardless of who you is. Some of the guys is playing in the NFL and all across, whether you're an academic or you're an athletic person, regardless of not, greatness is great. You don't get caught or trapped by the gravity of whatever environment you come from. You break free, you break through it, and you go beyond it, and you reach those depths. But for them to say Mike Thomas is not better than DeAndre Hopkins, when he named me one season, Hopkins took down Marvin Harrison's record. Do you not understand how tough a feat that was to take down Marvin Harrison's rookie? It took down his single season record. Julio Jones and all these guys had years when they couldn't even get that. You could they got to miss me with the nonsense about, Hopkins is better than Mike Thomas. If Hopkins was so elite at his position and he's very good, then why didn't he take down the elite records of the wide receivers like this guy's doing? So cut it out. Right. Oh, because his quarterback was hurt. But he wasn't hurt. I mean, if the quarterback get hurt, they put another quarterback in there. It don't make no difference. He's the number one option of that offense. Mm-hmm. That didn't change. You might change quarterbacks, but he's still the top option of the Texas team when he was playing. Now he's going to Arizona now, where he more than likely turned into the number one option out there. So there is no excuses. That man was the number one option of his team the same way Julio Jones is. And if you had a quarterback that got hurt, they put another one in there. Now you might have switched quarterbacks, but the guy didn't lose his status as the number one option for that offense. And besides, like I said, how I hit him with, when I hear talk about Mike Thomas not better than DeAndre Hopkins, what I hit him with is, if Hopkins was so elite and such a badass wide receiver, then why didn't he take down Marvin Harrison's single season reception record? Why didn't you break it if you better than Mike Thomas? Well, that's something else, Q. You, man, come on. If you elite, you should have took down. That is one of the most elite records that a wide receiver can do, is to break the single season catch record.
Nobody did it but Michael Thomas.
Nobody.
That's what I'm saying.
So that tells me right there who the number one, Q. You ask me, Michael Thomas on point, no doubt about it. He don't miss games. Mm-hmm. He catching these passes. Then you add in the fact that he catching these passes and he double and triple freaking teamed. Miss me with that, Hopkins. And traffic, Hopkins getting deep balls most of his passes. He making tough catches, but most of those are out route passes because the guy's throwing it and slinging it deep. Thomas, what is he catching most of these passes within what? How far? Within 20 yards of the quarterback? Most of them in traffic? and curl routes and slants and all this kind of stuff, double and triple team. Oh no, please, Michael Thomas, please. Number one wide receiver in the NFL, Michael Thomas, please. Michael Thomas, please. Hopkins, talk to me when you break Marvin Harrison's record. Michael Thomas's record. Talk to me when you break his record. Talk to me and tell me about how elite your ass is when you take his record down, partner. But after that, don't talk to me about no number one wide receiver. It's Mike Thomas off top. Bottom line.
And he was the fastest to reach them benchmarks too.
No doubt.
You could tell he putting in work. But look, check this out. So look, they got a lot of people saying Carolina gonna be the worst team in the division. Look, I think Carolina might really be a sleeper team, even though it's their first year. I don't think they're gonna be more than 9-7 or something like that. But I think they're gonna be a decent team. What you think about Carolina? They just been on my mind lately for some reason.
They're a question mark. A lot of people give them that because most of the defense is rookies. They spent the entire draft. They didn't select one offensive player. Their draft, they selected the defensive player for every draft pick. That's never been done before. That was showing you they lost Kuechly. If they would have kept Kuechly there, that would have elevated the overall IQ and the solidarity of the team, but you have to replace him. They have rookies all over the place. We're talking about Big Brown, Derek Brown, and Gross Matos, the guy from Penn State, and several other defensive backs. The defensive backs are littered. You got Eli Apple over there as a starting cornerback. So they're littered with rookies all throughout their team. So that's why a lot of people don't have them as a team that's supposed to make a lot of noise. But you never can tell, man. If they can rely on McCaffrey and then work through, they got a pretty talented offense, to be honest with you. They brought Robbie Anderson over there, which is a good move to add with DJ Moore, who had 87 catches last year. Christian McCaffrey, they can stay healthy. Carolina offensively will have to carry the day until that young defense step up. But they could be problematic for teams based on how they do. If they don't turn the ball over, and Teddy's really conservative, if they don't turn the ball over, they could probably surprise some teams behind the Saints, Tampa, and I could put them ahead of Atlanta simply because I don't have faith in Atlanta. Hold on for a second, Bell. We got another person on the line. What's up, family? Thank you for calling in the show. Who's on the line?
Inevitable.
What's up, baby? How you doing?
I'm doing really very, very good. How are you doing?
Doing good, my brother. Doing good. Talking Saints on a Wednesday with the family. Brother, this is Saints heaven, baby. This Saints heaven, black and gold heaven, baby.
Yeah, I love it. Bro.
But just hold on for a second there, Inevitable. We're going to get you in there. I'm going to let Joe finish up Bear finish up his thoughts, and then I'm going to come right to you, my brother.
All right, do your thing.
Yeah, look, I'm going to get off your line. I'm going to let Inevitable get to you, but I just want to tell you something. Hey, the Saints better not underestimate Tampa Bay either. Now, I know they got Brady and stuff. Hey, them people, they up there practicing what they going to do. Like, they running 7-on-7 practice with Tampa Bay. He really running exact plays they want to run. And I just want everybody to remember that Fitz Magic bullshit from a couple years ago when they hit us with that 48-46, I think it was. I'm like, man, what? Hey, they can easily do that again. So the Saints, they better be tight coming out. They got to come out the gate tight. They cannot play this year. They got to play them boys twice, and they won't beat us twice. We got to beat them twice.
You ain't lying, man. Tampa Bay, like I said earlier, they took the state. They go to bed with the Saints on their brain. They literally bottomed out and put the money, the chips, everything on the table this year to get this team to the playoffs and beyond. They basically promised Tom Brady everything Brady wants, which he wanted GM manager control. He's got that. He wanted the money. He got that. He wanted, what else he wanted? He wanted something else. It was 3 things that he asked for, say over the roster, money, and it was something else that he wanted. He got everything that he wanted from Tampa Bay. And he was instrumental in helping Gronkowski come out of retirement to come there.
Yeah, he got Gronk up there too.
He was behind the scenes. That was really Tom Brady who persuaded Gronkowski to come out of retirement. So he's systematically, bringing his style. Control over the offensive playbook. That was the 3rd thing. Control over the playbook. Yeah. So he's bringing a lot of the plays that he's comfortable with from New England to Tampa Bay. So they basically sold out to be able to
Well,
to
two
think
good
that
things
Brady
about
could be
it.
the one that finally beats the Saints. They're going to be in trouble though, because you're going to realize it take more than Gronk and Brady to beat the Saints.
Exactly. We got Jameis Winston. Look, Jameis Winston better start squeaking like 6'9" and tell us everything that's going on over there. I want the whole playbook, personnel. He better start squealing. I'm telling you.
Oh, you know he's gonna do that. You know that.
But
bro.
look, they went 7-9 last year. 4 of the games that they lost, or those 9 games, was by one score.
Right.
So that could have been easily 11 and 5 teams.
Very easily, true.
Very easily, and they lost by one score, and they probably because of turnover. But that's all I wanted to say, man. I'm gonna let you go. Oh, another thing I want to say, man. Look, people, stop complaining about the mask, man. Everybody doing their best. Nobody knows what's going on right now. Let's all just get along to go along. We all get through this situation. Oh, another thing though, all the players right now, the reason they speaking out, they simply want to take advantage of the situation, just like everybody else. And I advise everybody who can take advantage of this situation, take advantage of it, because everything ain't bad.
Thank you, Bear. Appreciate it, my man, for that words, bro. Appreciate you, and you be safe out there, cuz.
For sure, I'm gonna holler at you, man. Keep up the good work, dog.
Thank you, brother. Who that to you?
Oh yeah. Look, I want you to see about this too. If you could put a poll out, like a YouTube poll, and take a poll of the Saints think tank and see how many people think that the Saints gonna pay Kamara. I'm wondering what the Saints Nation think about this, because I really think we might be 50-50 on it.
Okay, I'll make sure I do that, bro. I'm gonna make sure I have somebody to put that up, man. Matter of fact, tonight after the show, we'll sponsor it. Put it up there and see what the family members think about it, and of course, they can feel free to chime in the chat as well, and we'll cover it toward the end of the show. Thank you for that, Bear.
Sure.
Appreciate you, bro. Be safe out there, bro, and who that to you.
All right, man. Who that to you?
Thank you, bro. All right, Inevitable, bro. How you doing, my brother? Thank you for being patient, my friend. What's on your mind tonight, bro?
Oh man, I'm a bunch of stuff now after hearing some of them calls and all the conversations. Woo, man, I could probably talk for 4 hours over here. Because I had like a little list in my head what I wanted to go over, but now I'm all over the place now. I wanted to kind of chime in on that Michael Thomas thing. I like how you kind of like broke down Michael Thomas and why he's the best, you know, and I agree, because like a lot of times when I read about Michael Thomas, actually when I read about the Michael Thomas haters, like these people, like they try so hard to convince themselves that he's not the best. Like, look at what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude's footwork is impeccable.
Yeah.
And his strength is crazy. He might not be the fastest, even though I think he's a lot faster than what people give him credit for.
Right.
But whatever, that's another story. You know, he just, when you watch him come out of his break, he's just smart. He knows how to get open. It don't matter what kind of coverage you throw at him. And then when you have them back to them people about he's not fast, let's ask Marcus Peters if he's not fast, because he looked like he was smoking Marcus Peters in the regular season game 2 years ago when we won 45-35. You know, so it's right there. He broke the record, and he gets it done every single week. Like you have like elite receivers. Elite receivers, even though they're great, they can still have a bad game. They can still be taken out of the game. They can still disappear. What receiver in the league disappears the least? That's our boy. He disappears the least. You know what I'm saying, Q?
Right.
He's a great player. He's a great player. He's a born football player. That dude. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and if you know football, and he's got like that dog in him too. You know what I'm saying? Like he's got like that. His mentality is like he's not losing. He's winning. That's it. You know?
Right.
That's what I love about him. He's. But you know what I wanted to ask you though? I think a lot about. I think a lot about football a lot. And what, you know how they got that new playoff format now that only one team gets a bye, and now it's 7 teams. What do you think about the NFL possibly creating like a super wild card. Now, this is what I think. You know how you have your wild card teams, they get in because they have a good record but they got to go on the road. What do you think about like maybe the NFL making a super wild card? That would be like a wild card team that has a better record than the division winner that they're slated to play. They get the home. That wild card team gets the home game in the first round. In the first round, because they have the better record. You know what I'm saying? Like so, like the first wild card team would be the fifth seed. So they're gonna be playing the fourth seed. If they're like 11-5 and that division win is 10-6 or 9-7, they should get a home game, right? I think the NFL should kind of explore that, you know. And then as the winners shape out for the rounds, then you just go back to the seeding how it is. You know what I'm saying? Like right. I feel like I feel like wild card teams kind of get snubbed a little bit. You know what I mean? It's not your fault you play in a tough division. You know, you still good. You're still winning 10, 11, maybe not 12, but you're still winning a lot of games. You know, I just always go back to when we had to go to Seattle that year. You know what I'm saying? We were 11-5, 39. That's not fair. You know what I'm saying? I think the NFL should fix that. So call it a super wild card. You know?
That's interesting. I mean, that's a pretty good thought.
Yeah,
right
I don't know. I just think a lot. You know what I mean? I just kind of think a lot. But I don't know. That's just I like thinking football, talking football. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could like call an NFL exec or something like that and be like, hey, this is what you should do, and see if they did it. But that's just how it goes. But no, how about Taysom Hill though? I was thinking about him too. He plays. He throws passes. He runs for touchdowns. He throws touchdowns. He's blocking punts. We see him block punts, making tackles on special teams. He should. What about playing fullback? He could put him at, because you know how you were saying a little while ago. This was a little while ago that you thought when the show first started that our fullbacks are kind of lacking a little bit, and I agree. They should try Taysom at fullback. Shoot, he can run the ball and run. If he can run the ball and run dudes over, they should try him put him in front of Murray. Let Murray, you know, that's a big power package right there. You know.
I mean, I tell you, but see, that's the greatness about Taysom Hill is the fact that not everybody raised the potential by his utility ability. That, you know, I've heard him at Taysom as a safety. I think as a safety he'd be phenomenal because of the fact that he loves the contact. But I do think that he does create, he does challenge not only opposition, but I think if you're a guy that's on a team with Taysom Hill and you're watching a quarterback run wide receiver routes and catch the ball like a wide receiver, then go in there and play tight end, then go in there and play running back, then play quarterback, then get on special teams, that makes you have to step your game up too. They say that this guy is having impact plays despite the fact that he's not indigenous to any one of the positions. That's not his natural position. But he can still come in there and have an impactful, positive effect in that room without having limited exposure to that room. So that should put a lot of these guys in their playbook and make a lot of it, you know, a lot of them step their game up, so to speak. If you got a guy like that that's ascending and excelling, that make you stay in the weight room, you know, a little later, come at it a little earlier, study the playbook a little bit more, work on your footwork a little bit more, understand your schematics a little bit better, question the coach a little more in depth, you know, stuff like that. It makes you dedicate yourself, donate yourself to the study of the position and the mastery of the position, because you have a teammate like a Taysom Hill or Drew Brees. It's so much greatness there in that locker room. It's not like one dude that's great. You're talking about when it's all said and done. First ballot Hall of Fame, Drew Brees. You're looking at Mike Thomas. He keeps doing what he's doing. First ballot Hall of Fame wide receiver. Elvin Kamara keeps doing what he's doing. These are great players, and they're great because they found a way to balance everything off, meaning taking the physicality, the physical things, the physical attributes, and work together with the mental aspect. What good is, just think about it for a second. What's good is having all of the physical stuff that comes with running the deep routes and having the speed to take off and the hands to catch if you don't understand where you're supposed to be and where you're supposed to go. That doesn't help you out any at all. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be balanced insofar as balance and then ascending greatness once you're balanced. So once you're able to seek it all together, then once you seek it together, then elevate it all together to a higher level. So you get this together, then this together, then this together, then this together, and then this together. And when you get it together like a fist, you don't just stay there, you start elevating it and rising it up to beyond where most people can't get to. And I think that's the thing. And then the scheme and the environment plays a part too, because you could be great, but if you have an environment that perpetuate greatness, it's almost like the trying to grow plants in soil that didn't have proper nutrients. The plant's only going to grow so far. Right. So it's
culture. It's winning culture.
Right. And that helps. And because Mike Thomas is a product of that culture. So does Alvin Kamara. Remember, as great as he is now, he was merely a second-round draft pick. There were several wide receivers taken before Mike Thomas. Most people forget that he was a second-round draft pick. And the receivers that were taken before him, most of them ain't even in the league no more. Maybe one of them that actually is.
Yeah, I think it was the draft. Didn't he got drafted the same year as Deion Jones too, right? From Atlanta, linebacker.
I'm not certain.
Was that the same year?
I'm not certain.
I think it was. I think it was, and I think it was, and okay. Before we picked Thomas, that's who I wanted. I wanted Deion Jones, and I mean, I don't want Thomas now, obviously, but I think it was Deion Jones got drafted the same year as him, but I mean, Deion Jones is unbelievable. He's crazy.
He's phenomenal.
And then he had to go to Atlanta of all teams. But that was that other caller that called a little while ago. I think it was like 2 or 3 callers ago. He said something real interesting too. He said something like the less you use Alvin, the more productive that he'll be. I thought that was kind of interesting, to tell you the truth. I never really thought of that, but I think that's kind of true, really. You know, I think some players I love that, and Kamara is probably the poster child for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's because you can still give Kamara the reps that he needs. He don't have to line up as a running back. You can move him all over the place. You can play him in the slot, outside, wherever you need him to be. You can still get him the reps and still put him on the field. And truth be told, it'd be smart for you to do that because you can use him as a decoy, similar to what they used to use Reggie Bush some time ago. You can just merely decoy him and put him out there. Could you imagine a package where you have Taysom Hill, Alvin Kamara, and Mike Thomas lined up as wide receivers with Latavius Murray in the backfield? You spreading out the defense. What could you do with that's just a small inkling of some of the stuff that this team could roll out against opposing defenses. But the culture, like you said, the culture is
crazy.
But Joe Best said that's the culture of that when you be able to take it. When we talk about greatness, you can be great in your own right, but then when you encounter the environment that perpetuates or it rewards and greatness and it metastasizes in the building, it's almost for lack of better words, it's almost like people getting infected by something positive, meaning you getting the positive bug to be able to lift your game up to another level. And that's taken on when you see a lot of players on the Saints team playing above where they were perceived to be. Mike Thomas, second-round draft pick, now considered, in my opinion, the best wide receiver in the game. The chip on the shoulder of being taken in second round past those other guys made him just take his elevated. Alvin Kamara, third-round draft pick, considered one of the top 3 best running backs, all-purpose backs in the game. This guy was a third-round draft pick. Third round, 2 rounds preceded before he was taken. And he was one of the 2 third-round picks the Saints took that year because they took Alvin along with Alex Anzalone. And I think Anzalone was taken before he was. So, it goes to show you that when you take that thing, you got undrafted guys who come on the team and start for the Saints, and they play above what people anticipated them to be. It's the culture, you know,
look at
and it's
Chauncey.
the
Look at Chauncey last year, fifth round pick, right? Chauncey was a fifth round pick, right? And then quite a few years ago, we got Carl Nix late. We got Jari Evans from Bloomsburg. We got him late.
Teron Armstead out of Pines Bluff. You know, yep, that's right. Colston was a 7th-round draft pick, 3 or 4 from the bottom of the draft. Became the Saints' all-time best wide receiver. Took all of the statistic records in New Orleans, catches, touchdowns, all that. He owns all of that. So it just goes to show you that the Saints environment, we've been raising players up and making them great all the time. And we continue to do it, and we go to ascend. And I'm fascinated to see who will be the next benefit of the system. You got Emmanuel Sanders, who knows all too well about it. You got a complete team. You're going to see guys like Troutman, Ruiz, Bowen, and guys like that elevate their stock to epic levels and contribute. So it's going to be, I just love it, man. I just love what the team bringing. A lot of people don't take that into consideration when you take on the Saints. The Saints are talented, but they have a singularity in terms of pride. They love to win. And when you have a team that is addicted to winning because they win, because they love the feeling of winning, it's addictive. When you start winning and they're celebrating, playing ping pong and Crash Brothers and Smash Brothers and all that stuff. You hear it in the back of the interviews and all this kind of stuff because they win and they're having fun.
They see all that hard work paying off.
Right. You know, and that's the thing. And when you lose, it's a letdown, and they want to get back to winning. When you've gotten a locker room like that, you know, these guys are going to fight and give everything they can to win the game. And that's why the Saints have been so a part of it. One of the main reasons why the team been so successful over the last several seasons.
Yeah. I still think that we could get better, though, a little bit better. Like, I know with everything that's going on with the whole coronavirus and stuff like that, that's why there's a lot of still real big names still out there like Griffin and Clowney and stuff. But I feel like the team that signs Clowney or Griffin or any of these do, especially Griffin, because Griffin's good. The other 31 teams are going to kick themselves right in the booty because there's any other year, there's no way Griffin would still be available. Like he would have been long gone already. And I feel like we never really had like two. I mean, besides Swilling and Jackson back in the day, and I guess Will Smith and Charles Grant to some degree. But man, if we had Cam on one side and Griffin on the other, I think that will put the stamp on like the Super Bowl run right there, because I think Griffin would make a major difference on that defensive line, and then we could probably maybe have Davenport focus more. Maybe we could move Davenport inside and we could use him to his strength against a run. I know we're deep at defensive tackle, but I think Griffin would. It's like a trickle down effect. You bring in Griffin, now you could do more with other guys, and then Bond's a pass rush specialist at Wisconsin. Griffin that's another guy that could teach Bond. Griffin, it's just I feel like whoever signs Griffin, that's going to be a major steal. It's going to be such a steal, and this late into the off season too. You know what I'm saying, Q?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, I think that's a part of it. The Saints are, if anything, showed people about it, the finality of what this season looking like. You will want to go all the way out, and you have to look at a guy like Drew Brees is coming back, and he signed a deal, and he's ultimately telling the team what he's going to do. You have to be able to go all out, and I totally agree with you about Griffin. I think, and I've been saying this for a while, that Griffin is a guy that fits better than Clowney. We're talking monetarily speaking, culture-wise. He is a veteran guy that can play, who would definitely come in and play next to Cam on that end and wreak havoc. He would be the best. He would be the best compliment that you can have. But I'm not upset about the Clowney thing. I know the Saints love his athleticism, and the great part about it is we didn't anticipate the Saints looking at Clowney because of his money. But then again, we have to always remember that any player is in play for the New Orleans Saints in terms of money is concerned.
Bird.
Right. I mean, any player's in play. And when it comes down to the Saints being able to make the money work, they can make the money work either creatively by phantom years and contracts or simply releasing several players, which the Saints probably going to end up releasing anyway. Those who don't think for a second that we might see the end of guys, like if they got to reduce rosters down from 80 or from 90 players to 80, if that becomes official, do we not expect that Nick Easton will be among the cuts? I mean, $6 million, and you got 2 or 3 guys that's better than him at his position. That's getting played. That's getting paid. Not even $1 million contract. Most of these guys are still below $1 million getting paid to do what he does. So, like I said, it's a lot, man. But no doubt about it, I'm anxious to see the season unfold. It's getting ever so close, man. And we should hear something soon on this Clowney situation because I really want to know what that looks like if the Saints are pursuing him. And if not him, then if you don't get Clowney, then do you not go after the next best thing, which is Everson Griffin? So I would love to see both of those answers get solved in the next 5 to 7 days. We'll see.
Yeah, I would too. We have to do that, because now what about that Marcus Golden? I thought I was reading that he got re-signed by the Giants. Is that true? Or is he still available? Because
I heard
that's a good player too.
I heard Marcus Golden was being, it was a possibility that he could go back to them because they were because that was an article what was I seen maybe last week where they were saying that it was a rumor that Golden was thinking about re-signing with the Giants. He really didn't want to go, to be honest with you, in the first place. He just wanted what he was due. But I don't think he signed with him. I think that was just a rumor. It's just a rumor right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say it must have been just a rumor because I didn't really read it like it didn't say.
Well, hold on for a second, Inevitable. Let me. Yeah. I'm as I said it, I'm googling it, and I got an article here from BigBlueView.com. It's a Big View, which is a SB Nation article that says Marcus. Let's see here. Let's see. Marcus Golden rights revert to the Giants, and let me see if I can set a screen right here just to keep it clarified, saying that Marcus Golden's rights revert to the Giants. Deadline passes for other teams to sign him to free agent deal. If Marcus wants to play in 2020, it appears that we will have to be with the Giants. Today's 4 p.m. deadline is come and gone, and Marcus' rights have returned to the Giants. So the Giants have confirmed the deadline of other teams to sign him to a free agent contract. It didn't, so there have been some confusion over the date, which is a May 5th tender, a rarely used tender the Giants placed on Golden as an unrestricted free agent, took effect initially that it was thought to be July the 22nd. And that was the original date NFL training camps were set to open. With the date open pushed back to the 28th, it was thought that other 31 NFL teams would be able to sign him. And of course, they're saying that means Golden rights revert exclusively to the Giants that would have had to play for them on a 1-year tender worth 110% of the 2019 salary, which is about $4 million for the upcoming season. Now, the NFL communication website, the Giants now have exclusive negotiation rights with Golden, who has until Tuesday following the 10th week of the regular season to sign the tender. Golden reportedly does not yet plan to sign the tender. So Golden had 12.5 sacks for the Arizona Cardinals in 2016, but in only 2.5 the next 2 seasons after suffering a knee injury. Then he had a bounce back year for the Giants in 2020 when he was collecting a team leading 10 sacks. And so, so he's 29 years old. He entered free agency and he was hopefully wanting to try to get a deal, but he'll go back to the Giants and join his other pass rushing buddies like Lorenzo Carter and the rest of those guys that I don't even know their damn names, backups. So the Giants look like they get him back. So that's one guy you lose, Marcus Golden. If you're New Orleans, you lose him. So he's off. He's off the free agency.
I forgot about the Giants. Yeah, I forgot the Giants players' names since Umanura and Tuck and Strahan and Kiwanuka and all them guys left. I forgot all of their names. Well, too bad, but yeah. Hopefully we give Jameis that shot when and if Breeze retires, because I think a lot of people are always very tough on him for what happened in Tampa and New Orleans, two totally different places. He had offensive, absolutely no running game, a defense that gave up a lot of yards and points. That's a recipe for throwing a lot of picks. You know what I'm saying? I think Sean Payton can fix him, and Breeze can give us and stuff like that.
No doubt. I mean, this is a quarterback-friendly system. In whatever Jameis was lacking, which is in many cases discernment to understand when not to fit balls and windows. His condition, he looks absolutely terrific. You know what I'm saying? He's taking this year very serious, and I got to give it to him. He was out there swinging a bat, punching heavy bags with the helmet on, doing everything that he can to stay fit. And I absolutely love what he's doing. He's absolutely worked his ass off. The guy didn't do him right on the contract. He fired him a little too late, but he still did the job to get rid of the guy. As far as his contract, who negotiated his contract. But Winston in the future is somebody that you got to take serious if you're the Saints, because of all the stuff that he's done. And people like Taysom. There's nothing wrong with liking Taysom Hill. He's cool too. But it's interesting to me. You could have taken Sean Payton went to Jameis Winston, what he could have went elsewhere. He could have went to other teams. So it just goes to show you, man, that they do see him as something. He has 5 years of experience. By the time Drew steps out of the way, he'll have 6 years of NFL experience. He'll have 1 full year under the Saints offensive set. Then you step in with behind a loaded offensive line that the Saints will continue to keep for more than the next 2 years. You'll have Alvin Kamara on a long-term deal, Mike Thomas, Cam Jordan, and several other impact players, including Ryan Ramczyk, Lattimore, and then you'll continue to draft and build what you've had. Troutman to step out the scenes. So, like I said, this will be a loaded team. He's never had a loaded offense like this before. He's never had an offensive line like this before. He's never had a running game like this before. And the only thing you can say is that he had 2 talented wide receivers. That is true. But everything else he did not have. And he doesn't have, and then at this point, him sitting behind Drew for 1 year is school within itself. I think a lot of people are forgetting that. Drew not only educates these guys off the field, but on the field too. And he'll be commissioned to handle the clipboard. He'll be getting the verbiage together. Drew will be speaking him up and talking to him about what he sees. The guy know how to play quarterback in the league. He just needs to cut his turnovers in half. And now that's a question that I threw out to the guys at the round table. I was like, listen, what does Jameis Winston look like to you if he cuts his turnovers in half? Everybody's jocked out over him if he had 30 touchdowns with 15 interceptions and 5,000+ yards last year. They jocked out on him. He could very well be a guy that could be making $10+ million this year as a quarterback. He would definitely be one of the top. He would have been gone. He probably would have been the Carolina Panther quarterback. He would have left and got the Carolina Panther deal had he had half of the fifth. That's what I'm saying. You take half away, this what he'll learn in the Saints system. A lot of people are not Jameis Winston's fan because it take a while for him to get used to the idea of him wearing the black and gold. But understand that Winston can learn just like Teddy Bridgewater did. And like I keep reiterating, I keep saying the same thing because I had to keep throwing this out, is the fact that Teddy Bridgewater told Jameis Winston to come to New Orleans because he felt like he can learn everything he needed to learn from Drew Brees. It's quarterback school, and even though it's $1 million, he getting paid to go to school. He charged him $1 million, but trust me, that's an investment that he coming here and working behind Drew Brees that will have profound things. It's like Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill, they ain't know what to do with Taysom in Green Bay. Sean brings him down here, turn him into an $8 million utility man. $8 million a season. He getting paid the same money as an established veteran wide receiver named Emmanuel Sanders. Emmanuel Sanders is making his contract is a 2-year deal worth $16 million, which has pauses that can kick it up to $19 million. Taysom's is $16 million straight up. He got some incentives in that too. but it's basically the same contract. It's the same damn contract. It's the same contract. So the Saints system works. It works. So Jameis Winston, all he has to do is be patient, keep his mouth shut, listen to Drew Brees and Sean Payton, and next year, if Drew retires, he'll have an opportunity to compete with Taysom and Taysom for the job. We'll see. That's all we can do is see. But Cam Jordan has high praise of him as well. He spoke well about him on the interview we played earlier today. Cam spoke well about Jameis Winston and about him being here. You know how talented the man is. The issue is that he has to be able to learn it here. And I've always said that. Who that to you, Cheryl? Thank you, baby. Appreciate your super chat. Who that to Cheryl? Who that for life, Cheryl? Thank you, baby. Appreciate you. Thank you. Jamie Dahl, who that to you, Jamie, as well. Good to see you in the live chat. Are you still with us there, Inevitable? Seem like, okay, Inevitable. I think he dropped out. All right. All right, family. It's interesting, man. I tell you what, the Jameis Winston question is one of the biggest and still hottest questions out there. I think, as gauging it, the Jameis Winston question, the Jameis Winston question, the Clowney question, and I'm starting and then of course the Malcolm Jenkins deal with Malcolm Jenkins. That's really interesting to a lot of people are starting to see that. But we're getting closer and closer to football. They're hashing out the details and the deals. And I'm thinking like by the end of this week, a lot of the stuff that they're working on should be resolved. And then guys will know what they can do going into the camp. So I'm going to stop it right there, family, tonight. And I appreciate the callers for chiming in. Much love to you for calling in. The calls, I would go for another hour or so, but you know how we do. Wednesday, middle of the week is not meant to be a long show. I know a lot of family members have to go to work or whatnot, but I appreciate all the callers. Byron, Uncle Paulie for chiming in, Bear, Trail, Inevitable, and I appreciate you guys. Great Byron, great calls on the show today. So I'm gonna start off by shooting it out. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to all the family members that's supporting the Saints headquarters, the Saints HQ, the first of its kind, a 24/7, all day, every day Saint Talk stream that you can watch any time of the day, any place, anywhere. I think I love it. I think it's terrific. And we reaching a lot of Saints fans because of it. It's the interactiveness of it. And I really appreciate the family members for doing it. Also, if you want to help out the live stream and you believe in what we're doing, you can feel free to hit the links in the description section below and go to the Pro Shop. On screen is a few of the items, shirts that we have over 40 different designs available. Not just shirts, but hoodies, everything, man. You're looking at, yoga pants for the women, hats, hoodies, coffee mugs, smartphone cover cases, face coverings, all kind of stuff, man. We got it for you. The Pro Apparel, it's called the PRO Apparel, our own apparel for our own great Saint Think Tank people, man. Like I said, we continue to march forward, doing a lot of fantastic things, man. We operating and love it. So feel free to go to the Pro Shop, link in the description section below. Take the store code, stay strong with you, and get 10% off on your final purchase. Help out the platform by going to the Pro Shop. Also, to let the family members know that the Pro Network will be called Pro Radio. You can check it out at Spreaker.com/thesportscoma. The link is in the description section below for all of these ads. Only thing you have to do is scroll below and look and hit the links. It'll take you to Pro Radio. And we have the Sports Coma going back sometimes, audio versions. Like if you're at work and you want to listen to the audio streams, you can feel free to do that. The Sports Coma, the Pelican Post Game Report, Ring Kings Boxing World, and Tough Tiger Talk are all available. And of course, I'm cutting it short today, 30 minutes short, because I have a Tough Tiger Talk to do tonight. Matter of fact, we'll be doing probably an hour or hour and a half Tough Tiger Talk tonight. just to be real with you. And then tomorrow we got a Ring King boxing, the latest Ring Kings boxing episode. And then a Pelican post game report is going to be coming soon. The On Cue with Big Q, which is the show you get when you join the Patreon, is also already done. They just have to mix it down and put it out. So we got a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, I was basically on like a vacation, and took a little break, and to come back and come back strong. So thank you for that. All right, to become a patron of the show, you can go to patreon.com/the PRO Media Network. That's patreon.com/the PRO Media Network. Become a patron of the show. Join up, donate. You can donate $1 or $5 or the highest, I think, is $20 to the stream. We appreciate a lot of our great Patreon members. You get access to TSC Q&A Live, which is a special show we only do for the Patreon and the YouTube membership that come on. That show is a hidden show we only do for them. We do it Tuesdays at 6 o'clock. We had to reschedule it because, like I said, I was on vacation, and we rescheduled it for tomorrow at 6 o'clock. So we'll have Suede or DC on there as well. And you can join us tomorrow, get on the show and express yourself. TSC Q&A, become a member of Patreon to get it. Patreon.com/PRO Media Network to get more information. All of the links to everything that I've said and more are in the description section below. And remember, another thing that you guys can do is to take the links of the shows and share them in your social media feed. That works out exponentially too. If you really want to help the platform, take the link of the show and share it on your social media feed. Doesn't matter if it's Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, or whatever. If you belong to Saints Facebook groups, feel free to share the links in those places. You know, that helps out as well. And once again, like I said, I'd like to thank all the beautiful Black and Gold members for supporting the 24/7 Saints HQ live stream, which is, we've been getting a lot of great feedback from it. A lot of people haven't never seen any of it. It fools a lot of people because they think I'm live. I had to let people know it's just a continual live stream, 24/7 talk. It's groundbreaking. Like I said, that's what we about. And I keep telling the family members that we are people that are innovators. We are evolutionists. I don't call myself no revolutionist. I call myself an evolutionist because we always are supposed to be evoluting further and further and further. We're out of the box thinkers. We're similar to the guy who created the air conditioner, the guy that created the automobile, the guy that created electricity in homes, the guy that all of these great and fantastic inventions that come to help life better. We are all of that and then some. So I appreciate the 24/7 live streams coming out. Please support that. That really helps because we're getting a lot of new subscribers based on that. Also, to let you know that we've also will be doing some more of the round tables. A round table is coming soon, family. I know we got a lot of feedback. People asking me, Q, when the next round table. We're gonna have a round table coming soon again. No doubt. Who that to you, Lee? Lee Wood, who that to your family? Chiming in from Manila. Way over there in Manila, man. Good to see you, Lee. Big ups to your family. Appreciate you jumping in the live stream tonight from Manila. Goodness. International family are in the building. But just to let you know, we're going to have another roundtable talk coming soon. I'm not going to give you a date because I'm still very much working on it. But it's coming soon. And not only just a roundtable of Saint Talk, we're going to have a roundtable with other rival people. I mean, we got Carolina Panther guys. We got a Carolina Panther guy that'll be popping up here. We got a Tampa Bay Buccaneer dude, and we got an Atlanta Falcon dude. So you can imagine me on a round table against the Falcons people, the Carolinas people, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers people. That's must-see TV. Pay-per-view TV, baby. As the Reverend started knocking them all out of there, taking them on out of there, busting them up. So we got a lot of good stuff coming, man. We continue to move around, shake around, work with people, and it's all love and it's growth. Also, please feel free to support the WhoDatDaily.com. The WhoDatDaily.com is the headquarters site of the PRO Media Network. There are contributors that's over there that's putting in their work. They're writing articles. There's several contributors that's over there that's doing great work. Shamika Nixon, big ups to Shamika, writes fantastic Pelican articles Arthur Rooks does great pieces on the Saints. He's the Saints contributor over there. And then you have other guys out there like Lawrence Mack and Mia Talovsky. All of those great people are writing some fantastic stories covering the Saints, the Pelicans, boxing, and all kind of stuff. So support the WhoDatDaily.com, man. Support it. It's for all the Whodats out there. So thank you guys for that as well. So as always, thank you guys for joining us on tonight's show. Y'all stay blessed. I thank all of our family members for y'all super chats. Much love to you guys. Please hit the like button if you aren't a subscriber. Please feel free to subscribe. Share the show in your social media links. Support the 24/7 live stream, bro, because that's our live stream. That's the Black and Gold live stream. There's nothing like it. And man, I'm just really excited about several really great things that we're putting together over here. So I thank all you guys for tuning in. I'll see y'all later. I might pop up with a special surprise stream tomorrow, or you never know. Just hit that goddamn notification bell. You never know. I might pop up on you. But for my TSC Q&A live people, I'll see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock on the Patreon channel. And y'all hit the links in the YouTube members when y'all get the notification. Join up as well. So thank y'all for all y'all, what y'all do. Much love to you. Thank y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. And then I'll see y'all later. Peace. And I'm out.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. #1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons. We won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, Who Dat Nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.